So what all do you remember from your time here now in Hoxend?
Lots of cute little animal creatures.
Right. Do you remember what they're called?
Vater. Or
Right.
Vatir.
Yeah. And do you remember what they look like?
Well, they like to
Swords.
wear the skins of foxes.
So yeah, after the first session, you all were attacked by some foxes. Yürgan was doing some kind of like examination to see if they were rabid, maybe if that was a reason they attacked. And one of them turned into a little Vatir and had like this little, almost looked like a frog, but sort of looked, dressed in little tiny attire, with a little top hat. It's adorable, but also hissed
cute.
at him and scared him. And yeah. Let's see what else. So you've all been in here for about a day and a half to 2 days, almost 2 days, almost 2 full days. You've only slept once, but you're 2 long days essentially, and you've noticed that Hoxend is definitely in a state of decay for reasons. The stuff's not growing despite it being springtime. You see a lot of the infrastructure of the town has cracks and holes and whatnot. You know that there was one section of the Martinson Manor that had like this beautiful kind of orchard, this grove, and all of while it was more like overgrown, everything was lush and beautiful, and it was bearing fruit, but at the same time, it's kind of odd. It was like a very serious contrast between some of the other land that you saw, which is mainly like really high yellowy grass that just hasn't really seen much help lately. And you encountered like a whole group of Vatir who kind of circled around you as you found some sort of ritual offering site that was placed in the middle of this grove. And at that point, you offered up some such to talk to them. You offered booze, scarves, or an ascot or something like that. I think, Caius offered an ascot, and Gunnar gave him a little Coke, as one does.
We give him some tobacco too.
Tobacco, yes. All the good stuff in an ascot. And what did you learn from them?
So they used to live in the old, what was that old building that?
It was a cider house. Yeah, there was an old cider house. Yeah.
And then also Joe's friend kidnapped or took the queen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're demanding the queen back.
That's 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something else. Life. Yeah, exactly. Like they're also demanding, because the queen, and I'm not sure if I gave you the name or not, but this queen's name was Uni, and she's been gone for a little while, and whether or not she survived or not, they want Victor. They want him. They want their vengeance, and if you give him over, they won't like attack the town, because they've been recruiting from all the southwestern region and getting family
gearing up.
Yeah, like there's like a whole army. Caius was tapping into this, to his automatic writing and getting visions and stuff about like armies amassing and things. So like you saw quite a few of them. There might be even more. So yeah. Hey Matt, how's it going, man?
Yeah.
And so we also know why the town has looked in such bad shape.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all kind of coming together.
Good. Yeah, because normally they keep it up, and they have not been.
Yeah.
So
normally they're there to their earthen spirits. They kind of, you've actually learned that they're a fairly nice group. They're one of the ones that actually live closest to humans. They're the most patient with humans, but this was just such an affront. And the capture of Uni and some of the other, that things are just things aren't too great. So you also met Victor and Stenhauser is his right hand man. What do we think of them?
Real classy.
Well, classy. I don't like his right hand man too much.
Yeah. Anders got kicked out.
Got real brave for a few minutes, and it bit me in the ass.
You didn't get enough sleep.
I was cranky. I
know that feeling. You got kicked out, and then you climbed through the window to get part of the conversation. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Other things. You weren't. Hey, still, they invited you to come stay. They said, "Hey, you can still come stay." But one night, and then you're gone. Like they don't. Like let's just. We'll give you hospitality. So We're gonna pick it up. It is middle of the afternoon. We'll say like a 2 or 3 o'clock, something like that, around there. A couple hours, at least 4 hours, probably 3 or 4 hours left of sunlight. The last thing that we had decided to do was that you're gonna go and you're gonna talk to a woman by the name of Old Hedda, who was an apothecary in town, and that's where you're headed. And then you're coming from the Martinson Grove. It's not too far away. Both are kind of on the western side of town. About halfway there, however, Caius and Yürgan, you start feeling a little not so great. You start feeling your stomachs kind of start to roll a little bit. Like, I don't know. He let out a little bit of a toot, and it's kind of an embarrassing moment. I need the two of you to make force rolls for me, please.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yeah.
oh, great.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Force.
Oh, is that a?
That's,
Oh.
Oh, I like that. I like that, Matt. Still,
Okay.
Facehugger looks cool. Yes, a force roll.
So I'm terrible at those, but I do have
As am I.
something I can, as a one-time use, get a +4 to my force. Seems like a weird thing to tap in on my.
You're gonna use that
You're
right now.
tapping it on your yeah. So you've got a.
Like, Caius has
Insight.
standards. He can't be walking around a nobleman's house later,
Yeah.
evacuating himself.
Caius
Ooh.
has an insight from a previous mystery. Oh, those look
Okay.
great, man.
And he's using it to preserve his dignity.
You're darn right I am.
All right.
All right. Gonna hope.
Okay. So
All right.
Go.
you manage to hold it in, just sort of clench the cheeks, and you feel a lot better, so to speak. Dr. Yürgan Leinbaldersön,
Not so lucky.
you all watch as Dr. Leinbaldersön suddenly darts away from the path and into the high grass, and you hear all sorts of awful noises coming from there. You don't feel too well, actually. You feel like you might have caught something. You actually are going to take 1 point of damage.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And you're not sure that this is going to go away too easily. Like, you can kind of, like, you have a moment. Everyone kind of waits around awkwardly, and eventually you come back to the road. He's completely pale, paler than he normally is, and clammy. You feel a little feverish. Something's not quite right with you.
I'd like to imagine we all just started like whistling or singing or doing something else to try to like give him a little like noise cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Caius, you feel okay, actually. You feel like it was just a brief, oh, what was that? But nope. Mind over matter, and you feel better. You feel okay.
Jürgen definitely comes out of the bushes exhausted.
Okay. Fair enough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So you continue on your trek, and you make it to a small building with a series of pens and gardens that kind of surround it. It's on the northwest side of town. You can actually hear the Drummondselva, the river that's to the north that splits town in half. You can kind of hear it. You can see the Hog Church a little further to the west in the distance. And it's nothing too special about the building itself. Looks like big enough for like a very small family or a single person. And there's a little chimney kicking out. There's nothing coming out of it currently, but you can see there's a couple gardens out front with really bright, luscious plants and herbs that are growing, which again starkly contrasts with a lot of the dry, straw-like high grass that Jürgen just evacuated into. And you can see that there are a couple pens where there's like chickens and other small little animals as well. You go up to the door, go inside, and you can see that there's not a ton of space for you all, but there's enough, and that you're kind of standing. There's a counter, and there's a door that seems to lead back to some kind of apartment. You can kind of see a bed as the door is slightly ajar, and there is this old woman standing behind the counter. She seems to be mixing things, and she's using like a mortar and pestle to grind something. And she looks up at you. She kind of smiles, doesn't recognize you at all. Hard to kind of peg. It's very hard to kind of peg an age on her, to be honest. She's not young, she's not old. She's a mess. Like her clothes are just a mess. We're talking just like really rough spun, ill-shapen wools and furs. Like the entire floor is covered in dirt. And she sees you come in. She, good afternoon. Can I help you?
Hello. I'll lean to the party like, why did we come here again?
Well, okay, I'm just going to speak about an immediate and dire need. Our friend, the doctor here, could use perhaps, do you have any tinctures of some sort, or he seems a bit out of sorts.
And she, like, when you mentioned the word doctor, she kind of like an eyebrow kind of raises, and she gets this wry little shit-eating grin on her face. And that's probably a bad word choice for right now, but she gets a little grin on her face.
No, it's the best.
It's the best. It's the best word choice for now.
The best possible.
And she says, get a wee bit of the stomach problems. I've got something around here. Certainly. And you see her start to
I wish it was the wee bit.
She starts moving around, and as you're like looking at her and she's reaching for things, and she eventually pulls down some small jar off one of her many shelves, and you can see that there's dried goods and some things that are kind of in some kind of water. You're not really sure, like it's being stewed or pickled for a long period of time. She pulls something down, and she takes a look at it, and she says, come here, come here, young man. And this is towards Yürgan.
Mm.
And so she'll just grab you with two hands, kind of pull you close, pull the cheeks down so she can kind of see inside your eyes, and she'll kind of lift you up and look in your nose and look in your ear.
Right,
kind
no
of
sudden movements.
Yeah. While you're all doing this, while she's doing this, you do notice that despite the fact that she's dressed in these kind of terrible clothes, and she looks like she could be living under a bridge somewhere, she's got one thing that sort of stands out to you, and she's got this bangle on her arm, on her forearm, that as the sleeves drape down when she lifts her hands up to grab the ingredients off the shelf and then to mess with Jürgen's face, it's like this beautiful gold bangle that's just it's one of the nicest things you've seen. It's elegant and simple, very little runic etching on the side, but otherwise it's just kind of beautiful. But she slides this over to you. You all have enough capital and whatnot to afford this, so she slides this over to you, and she says, looks like you've got to, you've come down with something for sure. And she's sort of checking. You should take one of these and then get a good night's rest, and then come back and see me in the morning, and we'll see how
I'm
you
like
are then.
ingesting it as she's telling me this.
Okay.
Something that Sigrid is looking at. Asta had told us that she looks good for her age.
Yes.
Like she had kind of some suspicions about that.
Right. I mean, looking at her, you can definitely tell that she's not young. She's got like her hair itself is like starkly dark brown, but you can see very definitive streaks of gray in it. And her voice is something that sounds kind of a little gravelly, but then when you look at her face, there's no real signs of like heavy wrinkles. There's no like smile lines or anything like that. She's got there's definitely she looks surprisingly good. Now she's covered in like mud and grime and such, but like physically she looks quite young.
Does her building seem to show the same signs of decay that the other ones do?
When you came inside, you noticed that her plants were definitely growing. Why don't you go ahead and roll a little vigilance test to just sort of like look around and assess what you see.
Okay.
And a second person can do that too if they want. I'm kind of going to get into the habit of just doing like two people can roll things.
I'll do that if no one else
Yeah.
minds. I'm just kind of sitting back, being quiet and observing. So,
Sure. Okay.
Investigation.
I'll take investigation. That's fine.
Success.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, it's continuing. That's right. I just remembered.
It's a lot of dice.
Bird had
no hits.
Bert had a
Ah,
terrible
poor Bert.
rolling night the other night. You do not notice any cracks in the floors. You don't notice any holes in the baseboards or anything like that, Dogmore. It actually, everything looks intact. Like, it's dirty, but that's about it.
Okay, so she might somehow be on the good side of the fatir, maybe.
Possibly. You know that she's she's been described as kind of an old pagan woman. Like she was referenced by like Father Adrian when Sigrid and Caius went and spoke. Yeah.
Because I think we originally came here to talk to her about something regarding Victor, but I'm having a hard time remembering what exactly at this point.
Sigrid. Okay, I was just going to say Sigrid was going to just try to. This is going to be awkward because Sigrid is not a person that really spends a whole lot of time keeping up her appearance.
Okay.
But knowing that was pointed out to her, she's going to kind of try to be complimentary of her and just say that, she seems to be keeping her appearance well throughout the decades, and wondering if she has any secrets to share. But this is going to be a very awkward, like, she's not a woman that has this conversation with women like, very often.
What's your beauty regiment? Like, she's equally awkward. She begrudgingly accepts the compliment, but she basically just says that she's just been, she's eaten healthy and respected nature all of these years, and she feels as old as the town itself. She's been here a very long time, but yeah, just eating well, getting good sleep, So she seems a little, and then she will slide over a little tonic, a little tincture as well, and like this right here as well. This will help you be regular. So,
Good to know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to press a little bit to see if it was a goal of hers to look younger than her age. Like if that was something that was important to her. Like I'm trying to see if she like made a deal with somebody along the way or.
Okay. Do you want to, are you looking to roll and try to make a manipulation test here?
Sure.
Go for it.
Would you like me to do this at any sort of disadvantage?
No.
For my awkwardness?
No, that's fine.
Okay. One success.
Okay. She will kind of give you a sort of a strange look as if she's assessing you. But she will say, and she'll be very careful with her words. And she'll say it was a reward for understanding the role of nature in my life and the role it should have in the life of the village.
Feel like she probably sees them.
That makes sense. Sometimes it's really important to pay attention to the little things in life.
Yes. She kind of looks at you with the mention of little things, but she's not. Yeah.
I'm glad to see it's so nice to see that your garden is prospering. The rest of the town seems to have had a very hard time. Maybe.
At that, she starts to kind of like breathe in through her teeth, and she's like, yes, it's been a hard few weeks or month or two here. It's been distressing, to say the least. It's been very difficult to see the sudden fall of our fine town. Unfortunately, not everyone here is as respectful of what nature provides.
So, is that why they've left you alone where they haven't the rest of the town?
I beg your pardon? They?
I don't remember the name of the Vaesen at the moment. What are they?
Vatir.
The Vatir.
Oh. And she kind of looks a little surprised, but also a little taken back. You are, Yes, that I have. She's very surprised, a little flustered, but ultimately she says, "Yes, I have. I have shown them kindness over the years, and they in turn have shown me kindness over the years, and me and several others as well. We make sure to pay them that respect frequently, regularly, seasonally, and they in turn look out for us." And she kind of holds up her wrist at that point, and she's like, "And sometimes their returns can be even more material than I would have imagined."
Okay. We were just out in the grove speaking with them. As you know, they're mighty pissed off.
To be honest, they have not spoken with me in a few weeks. I think they are avoiding me. I can certainly tell from what's happened around here that they are upset. I have tried to beseech them, tried to ask what has happened. I actually worried that they might have abandoned us entirely. It's good to know that they have not.
That would probably, at this point, be the better outcome.
Oh, I don't think that's necessarily true. I would be a very shameful. They've been here for longer than we have, or as long as we have, or
yes.
Well, what is it that has upset them?
Go ahead.
I'm sure you're familiar with the local order. From what I understand, you may have even been close with his mother.
With who?
Victor.
Victor.
Yes, I was a friend with Camilla when we were young. Yes.
I feel like just being candid is possibly the best thing.
That's right where I'm at. Yeah.
So Victor in some way associates his mother's death with Queen Uni.
And she's continually flustered by how much you know. You know of the. Okay, well.
Know of, don't know.
I'm not jealous.
She's missing, and that is why the Vatir are very angry.
Very specifically, they believe that Victor has taken her.
Can you think of anything that might have happened that might have caused him to associate his mother's death with her, with this Queen Uni?
Oh dear, this is. Oh dear. And she starts kind of moving around a bit, and like she's getting kind of this grave look on her face, and oh my. Yes. This could this might have oh, this is all just a terrible misunderstanding. This might be my fault, in fact. I've known, well, I knew Camilla since we were both children. We played together, and although our families lived on opposite sides of the river, we saw each other often, and both of us had romantic interests in Victor's father, but ultimately he chose her, and that is fine. I've moved on from that. And she was a church-going, God-fearing Christian, and I clearly am not. And she began having trouble. I'm not sure when it happened. Both of us saw the Vatir for the first time together when we were very young, and I learned more and more that I could about them. She went the way of all Christians and assumes that they were awful visions or demons or devils sent to haunt her, and she was doing something wrong, and that kind of fed into some kind of psychosis, some such. And I tried to get through to her, but unfortunately she didn't listen, and she got more and more paranoid even after the boy was born, and apparently her psychosis was such that Victor's father put her into a home for a while, and when she returned, she was even worse, and I tried to beseech the Vatir to help. They have access to magics of a certain type, and well, shortly thereafter, that was when she died. I have heard that the fright of seeing another one, they had to go into her home, you see, to get a bit of hair or something of ownership of hers that they can cast a proper healing spell on her. But I think an accident ensued, and well, you know the rest of it, I believe.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good to know that the Vatir weren't doing anything malicious. Not that I thought they would be.
They're very sweet creatures.
To level with you
Point.
entirely, we're at a very tight deadline on this, or maybe you can give us a hand somehow.
With what would you like me to do?
Maybe we could have you talk to Victor for us, see if we can get the Victor to release the queen.
I don't think Victor much cares for what I have to say about anything.
Yeah, it still might be worth giving it a shot. Once again, just putting all of our cards on the table. The Vatir have gathered an army, and they're planning to destroy the town and kill everyone in it tomorrow.
You'll note the recent increase in rats and foxes and
Just
frogs.
a
attacks and people getting
punishment,
sick.
I'm sure.
No.
No one's died.
Yet.
That will be changing here very soon.
She's just a bit skeptical of this. I think I have known them for decades. I don't think that they would.
Have they ever done what they're doing right now?
Oh, they've poisoned a barrel of ale before, or they've made, they set a barn on fire or two from time to
Have
time.
they let the entire town fall to ruin and get overrun with critters?
No, that is true. They haven't done that. I do find it hard to believe that they would suddenly amass and oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So, if you could come and tell Victor your side of the story on what happened to his mother, maybe get him to readjust his opinion of things and get it to a point where we can return the queen.
It seems to be his motive for distrusting and where all his hatred for that
Yeah.
comes from.
I wanted this to be kind of a quiet thing. Do we mention the other wrinkle in this plan?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I tried many years ago to speak with his father, and I was summarily thrown out of the building and told never to return. Which is why my grove tenders and I we meet in secret in their orchards. But if things have grown as dire as you say they are, and I have not seen any of my earthen spirits for some time, and if Queen Hootie is at risk, then certainly I can accompany you. And yes.
Thanks for the sub.
Thanks, Tombstone. It's nice of you, man. Yes. Okay. When will this occur? And is he going to be aware of my arrival? I'd rather you.
No, let's just go now.
No.
We pretty much have this night, and that's all.
Yeah, time is of the essence right now.
I see.
We're incredibly sorry. We know this is a lot, but we mean well.
I believe that you do. Yes, I believe that you do. Let me.
We're
Go ahead.
trying to work out a deal with them so that the entire town is not at risk.
I'm still very suspicious of the fact that they would escalate that far. That seems far beyond anything.
What
Well,
is your
they've-
usual gift to them?
Candies and chocolate and such. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you have to be careful how much sugar you give them. They get a little crazy when you give them too much sugar.
Yeah, too much white powders.
Yes,
Yeah.
the white powder with them is very terrible.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure it didn't help. Apparently, the cider house was their home, and that's been left to ruin. And there's also a hunter who is possibly intentionally trying to poison them or kill them. That probably didn't help.
Ooh, yes, that yes.
Well, the queen's hostage is probably the main.
Yes.
Yes,
motivating.
that is very terrible. Yes, they have a home on its own. They've had their homes destroyed before, and usually it results, like I said, in a poisoned barrel, a burnt stable, something like that. But
Small
no one gets
retribution.
hurt. Yeah, no one gets hurt, and usually they talk it out. And if they're willing, unfortunately, as the church has spread its influence throughout the town, not all are willing. But I try. Let me close up shop and I'll accompany you. And you see her
Okay.
just sort of like, and I'll clean up a bit. And she just dusts some dirt off of her. And she meets you outside, still dirty, ready to go. And that's that. So it's still, it's like 4 o'clock maybe.
Maybe put on some fresh dirt.
Okay.
Might warn her that if the situation goes aggressively south, she should probably depart hastily.
Oh.
The hunter, you know.
Do you expect it to go incredibly south? What?
I
We certainly hope not.
We certainly hope not, but he seems very dangerous.
You are not.
It's a burly guy with a gun. Who knows?
Oh, I'm aware
Yeah.
of that. I'm aware of him. He's a very. I've seen him. He's seen me.
Quite temperamental.
Don't worry, we're pretty sure he hates somebody else here more than he'll be upset with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
I
all
pissed
sort
him
of-
off pretty good.
like a lightning.
All you got to do is run faster than him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I am up there in the years. I'm not sure if I can run too fast. Maybe faster than you, old man. But yes. Do you have all your
You'd be
dogs with you,
surprised.
by the way?
Of course.
Okay. Like you have many dogs. But she's willing to go.
Off we go.
Okay. Is there anything else you're looking to do? Pick up your things, because I think you left some. Like if you're looking to stay, you had your things are back at the inn,
Mm.
the Woodcutter's Rest. Is there
Yeah, I
anything
mean,
Leave
if we
my
are going to
stuff.
spend the night there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that this is all going to go really, really south.
Mhm.
Because I'll just cards on the table here. I'm hoping we can get this dude to have a change of heart, agree to return the queen, and we'll just tell him that part of the stipulation is he has to be the one to return the queen.
And then it's just hands off at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you're not doing anything else, we're just heading right back. That's fine. Okay. So you head back. It's probably like 4:30 or so. The sun's starting to go down when you arrive. Kind of go up to the front gate, ring the bell again.
Was that package picked up from the gate at this point?
It was on the stoop, but yeah, it looks like it's been gone. It looks like it's not there anymore. You ring the
Okay.
bell at the gate. No one comes out. Remember the last time you were here, Asta came out, and you ring it again. You ring it again. You ring it again, and no one comes.
Shall we just let ourselves in then?
We were invited
Yeah.
back for dinner, right?
We were, yeah.
Yes, you were invited for dinner and to stay for the night.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Okay.
Let's go in.
Yürgan opens the door looking for a bathroom, and you get up.
Hey, it worked once.
You get up to the front stoop. The door's there.
Doing a little bit of the power walk.
Oh gosh! I just pictured
Say
it.
that
I
the
just
door's
pictured it as
open.
Joe Tower walking up to the door. The door is not open. It's shut. You knock on it, and there's no response.
I believe this warrants stealth at a minimum. I did open that other window, that one in the study. We wanted to try and enter not through the front door.
I mean, why aren't we wanting to go straight in through the front door?
I have
wasn't
no
locked,
problem
right?
going in the
Yeah,
front
let's-
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We
We've
were
been
invited
back in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you turn the knob, door opens just fine. Yeah,
Mhm.
opens up.
I mean, I encourage Doug more to once again run off on his own.
I mean,
Check your
Face
own
really
back.
shouldn't do.
It is what I do.
Yeah.
It has that classic creak that's just like louder and louder with each degree of the open, like, and then
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
then you lose handle on it and it slams against the side of the wall.
Sure.
There's a coat rack that suddenly shambles a bit too, and something falls and rattles on the ground. It's just like everyone knows you're there as you step inside. You
It's
see
gonna do that thing when you open the door and you're still knocking on the door and you're like, knock, knock, is anybody here?
Yeah.
the door was open, yeah. But you don't see anybody, and there's no one there.
Are there any lights, candles lit, or anything like that? I mean,
Not currently. There are windows in the front. There are windows off way, because you can, if you recall, like when you first step in, it's a fairly large, beautiful foyer, some some like sculpturings and stuff, and then it's got a double staircase that goes up to a balcony. There's like the den study that you all met in to the left. There's doors to the right, and then you can kind of go underneath the balcony deeper into the house itself.
sure.
You can see that there's a
That's
dining
all
area
there.
back there and like a back porch through which light is coming in.
Okay.
But you don't see any like lamps or lanterns or anything set up currently.
Okay.
So
I
if-
just remember it was windows were boarded up and stuff like that, so I wasn't sure if there
Yeah,
was
there
some
were a lot of
additional lighting.
Yeah, there's light coming in, but like, yeah, you can see that there's you recall like on a lot of the second story, like a lot of them were like kind of boarded up and such.
So if no one's home and we need to find the queen, what do you all think about doing a little snooping? Yeah.
I mean, I suspect it's not a matter of nobody's home so much as they're currently somewhere that is not near enough to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're people perhaps in some sort of secret lab tormenting a certain queen.
Well, let's go find that lab.
Okay.
I want to make a beeline to the back and just check the obvious back porch area just to make
Okay.
sure they're not just right outside.
Victor went somewhere when he left us from the study, right? Was it that same way?
The last thing you guys saw, like he and Sten were kind of talking in the quiet by the dining area.
Okay.
Okay. So security.
Traipsing through the house.
Yeah, you traipse to the back towards this little porch area. The door is closed, but there's light coming in through some of the glass. You look back, and there's no one back there. You can see the full vastness of the Martinson grounds like unfold behind you. Far to the northwest, you can see the groves themselves. You can see different buildings. Looks like there's like stables, a barn. There's like some tool sheds and such like that are kind of scattered here and there.
I'm
Looks
gonna have Dogmore come over and see with his binoculars if he can see anything.
Okay.
Sure.
And you can also see like there looks like once have been some kind of maybe like a one of those shaped gardens where someone would come through and make sure that the bushes and the hedgerows whatever, but it's sort of dried out and looks terrible now. So Dogmore, go ahead.
Let's go ahead and push it. Why not?
Go for it. Okay. So, you look out and you can see that off to the southwest there is you can see that that Sten is kind of traipsing around over by a couple of the buildings over there. He's got like a big old rifle in the crook of his arm, and you can see that there is kind of a dog that's following him, and as he's just moving about the high grass. but you don't see any signs of Victor.
Okay, well, it's good to know where he's at least. I don't know if we could lock him out. Buy us potentially a little time. Of course, he probably has keys, so I don't know how
He
good that
probably
would be.
does. I would also be worried that if we locked him out, he would immediately know
be-
something suspicious.
Mhm. This is where ether or chloroform comes in.
Yeah.
We do have like unknown liquid in vials, right?
You had some poison, I think, from the boxes. I think
Yeah,
that's what
we
it
did.
was.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm in favor of just starting our snoop.
Okay.
Yep, we've located one of the 3 adults that are here, so
Yeah.
we
Okay.
know a little more than we did before.
I am slightly more comfortable with snooping than chloroform.
Okay. So as you start to snoop, Hedda, who's with you, what are we doing? I thought we were meeting with Victor. She's very nervous and confused right now. She's like shedding dirt onto his beautiful floor, which by the way isn't very, it's Asta does her job as best she can. But it's
We are meeting him. We're just doing the first part of the process, which is finding him.
have I
Yeah.
misjudged you all? Have I
Nope.
fallen in with thieves?
No, we were actually invited for
We're guests here.
This is this the behavior of guests?
That
Probably
is
doesn't look
when
like-
our hosts are nowhere to be found.
She
We're just
looks-
being good guests.
She looks at Caius specifically with that. Is this the behavior of guests in proper decorum? Is this what it's like these days?
Under normal circumstances, no, but normally there's not kidnapped Vaesen queens involved. So extreme circumstances, and we're very sorry for how this looks. Would really like the town not to die tomorrow morning.
Keep going back. I still not 100% that is what's going to happen, but I accept the fact that
We
desperate
believe
times
them
call
when they
for...
tell us that.
If we are caught, I was not involved in the snooping. So where are you looking? So it's a 2-story home, as far as you know. That there are bedrooms upstairs, and there's servant quarters and a kitchen and other things, like a den, office, stuff like that. So just tell me, like, what kind of room would you want to be looking in?
I have a theory to work
Look,
off of.
it's
Mm-hmm.
I can show you a
Okay.
map too. I do have a map if you want to see it, but you could just kind of tell me where it is that you want to.
I mean, if you follow the poetry of it, find the stairs where the tragedy happened and follow that.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you ask her, she'll say, "I believe it was these," and she, like, right in the foyer, there's the double set, and like one side she specifically points to. It's the right side when you come in, and she says, "I believe." She points down to some tiles. This is where they found her, and like some say she fell, some say she jumped, some say she was pushed.
I mean, if this is an act being performed due to a tragic event that he's held on to his whole life, I feel that's the place to start.
Okay. So you're looking around. Do you want to go up the stairs or anything? Is there something in particular?
I was gonna see if I could just have my dogs maybe do a little sniffing around right down there.
Okay. All right. They sniff around, and you can tell that they're a little agitated, but they're not like overwhelmingly excited about anything when you're sniffing around these stairs. This little this open foyer. They don't seem to be getting overly excited by these stairs.
Okay. It'd be nice if we could maybe find Victor's room and find something of his to have them smell, and maybe they could track a little bit, perhaps. But
you do know that bedrooms are upstairs, as far as you know. That's pretty. That seemed to have been the case. I think you saw him coming down the stairs as well, at one point. Are you all sticking together? Are you splitting up?
We saw him go back upstairs too after we talked to him.
You did.
I'm all in favor of sticking together. Let's go upstairs.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you go upstairs, and there's a kind of a little landing area with like a nice little, beautiful few chairs, and kind of like a small little bar off to the side. It's kind of a place just to like, sip like, an evening brandy or something like that before going to bed. And it's like this large room, and there's doors that go off in each direction. So there's a total of 5 doors that connect. There's no hallways or anything like that. It's just a landing area, large den, and that's that. So there's just 5. It's just sort of if you start going through them one at a time, you can see that most appear to just be untouched. You go through, let's say, 4 of them, and they appear to be in good shape. You can tell that they've been recently had their sheets changed. You would imagine this is the work of Asta, maybe. And then there is one final room that's a little bit larger than the others, has kind of a more worn out door, and it's not locked or anything like that. In fact, the door itself is kind of just a little hanging ajar, and you go inside, and it is a mess, absolute utter mess in here. And you can see that there's
This is his room.
This is most certainly his room. You can see that there are clothes on the ground. There are books splayed open. There are maps unfurled, some torn. There's a large rug in the ground, on the floor itself, in front of a fireplace, within which you can see that there are many, many burnt ashes, which you imagine he was burning pages of something. There's 2 different doors that seem to go out onto a balcony, but both are boarded up. There's no light in this room other than what you bring in here. There's a small little desk area as well. But it also looks as though the bed hasn't really been slept in. It's more covered in things.
Well, at a minimum, I'll let my dogs get a good nose of his clothes.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem.
Do we know
What
if there's...
things is it covered in specifically?
Yeah, you start going through it, and you can see at first the top layer, so to speak, looks to be maps and surveys of the area around Hoxend, and some of them are kind of old, going back to when his father ran the kind of the logging company, the timber company, and they're kind of covering different areas around the town. And even going further out into the sort of the wilderness, you can see that there's been markings as well, and he's got these little scribbles and notes that suggests like where good sources might be, like good source, not a good source. And then like it's quadranted, so there's like X's as if to suggest that this has been explored, that kind of thing. Then you start looking a little bit deeper, and you can see that there's more of those same types of maps that are on kind of the northern side of the Dreven Selva, and not all of it is kind of X'd out. Just looking through this, you're getting the idea that they have been mapping and exploring all of the area, looking for things, right? Looking for what they could find. And so those are the things that are kind of splayed out onto the rug and splayed out onto the bed. There's also the desk as well.
What's on the desk?
You start going through the desk, and this looks to be more handwritten in like his own crooked hand. There's a little inkwell that's been spilled and like this big old blotted stain. But you can tell that he has been scribbling and writing. But as you read it, you can tell that it seems to be less of, there's nothing here that seems obviously Vaesen related. You see that's kind of more personal. You start flipping through it. It's kind of like a diary of some kind, where you get the general sense of an increasingly broken mind. He starts talking about, he definitely sounds paranoid. The shadows are out to get him, that type of thing. He's got sketches of the things that Caius and Yürgan saw, as well as all of you when you were in the grove. You can see those kind of folded up and tucked into some of the pockets within the diary itself.
Is there anything in the diary that has to do with the taking of the queen?
Nothing mentions the queen specifically, but you definitely get the sense between the things that Gunnar is looking at, like, because some of the places, like, they found things, or like good source, and they have like a number taken, good source, number taken, good source, number taken. So knowing what you know, context of it is that they took like 10 from here, 12 from there, 6 from there, none from over here, none from over there, that type of thing.
I wonder if they're counting where they're getting the Vaesen from, perhaps.
Yeah, that definitely is what you would be getting, that the the feeling of.
Since they've been out hunting for them.
There's also plenty of books on like hunting season, almanacs, things like that as well.
Okay.
In the house, would we know if there's like an attic or a basement?
When you were looking through the, when you kind of came in here, you know that there was a kind of a cutout in one of the guest rooms that looks to have gone up to an attic.
We can check that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he's got a lab, I don't think that would be very practical. I would be
No.
more inclined to head back down to the first floor and see if we can find a basement of some form.
Yeah, and of course, now that my dogs
Mhm.
have had a chance to maybe pick up some scent, perhaps I can have them try and track.
Okay.
I think I might want to look in the attic though, if they're looking for somewhere to store someone that they've kidnapped. An attic
Mhm.
is very
Not a
out
bad
of the
idea.
way.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So you go back into the room, pull down the attic opening, climb up.
For what it's worth, I may kind of do that thing that I do and maybe go closer to the central area just so I can keep an eye out
Okay.
and make sure that nobody comes back in while we're snooping around
Mm-hmm.
without us knowing.
Okay.
Just kind of keep watch, but keep hidden.
All right.
Hedda might be more comfortable with you.
She's very she's not comfortable at all with what's happening. But you go up into the attic, you look around, and you don't see any, like, you see basically lots and lots of chests and crates and things. You start going through some of them, and from what you can tell, tons and tons of women's clothing. Just women's clothing galore, women's possessions. You see portraits of a particular woman, and if you show it to Hedda, she'll note that is Camilla, the mother. And you don't find any sign of anyone being hidden here, but you do see that, like, this is this peculiar attic-born, like, mausoleum to this woman. You see that there's like a small portrait set up on one side, and there's all these candles that have been lit
Like
around
the
it.
Hey Arnold shrine
Yeah.
that Helga put together.
And when you look at some of the candles, they've
Everybody remembers that.
recently melted too, so you can tell that this is not something that's been untouched for a while. Strangely enough, this is that little dresser where the portrait set up is one of the only places in the entire house that you've gone that hasn't shown some semblance of disarray. Like this, there's kind of very organized and controlled and neat. There's a small chair that's sitting out in front of it, with a little table next to it, and there's like an empty bottle of wine sitting on it. And you can tell that someone's probably come up here and just sort of stared at this portrait.
Is there anything that's quickly, like, I'm definitely not looking to trash this, but anything that looks like a journal or a diary among the women's possessions?
Yeah, you can probably find something like that, sure. And I mean, going through the woman's things, I really Hedda will be very
open up.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to open up chest covers and
Yeah.
lids and just see if there's like any books readily. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. You can see that there's some books. Some of them are like published works of some kind, and some of them look to be more personal. So it would take some time to sit down and read through them, of course. But
Okay. I would want to ask her, could you kind of to refresh my memory of the time frame when this happened, just to see if I can looking for kind of something that would corroborate what she's saying. Kind of in
Right.
her own words.
Yürgan, how old are you?
I'll be right back.
He's like, I picture him being about 55
Yeah.
to 60.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured you were like late 40s, early 50s, something like that, around there. So
Mhm.
this would have been around 40 years ago or so, when she died, and it was probably about 2 years ago, or within the last 2 years that the father died.
Mhm.
And from what Yürgan knows is that Victor was sort of a prodigal son, very rarely came back here, and he spent some time like in the asylum when he was like a teen, and then he came back, and then he went to university, and spent very little time here ever since.
Okay. So I'm going to try to grab one thing that may be from that kind of time frame.
Okay, yeah, you can just go ahead and put you have Camilla's diary. That's fine.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Anders, Caius, Gunnar, what are y'all doing?
My next would be looking for a basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to look for any irregularities in the dimensions of the house from what I saw outside to see if there's a hidden room.
Okay.
Just by pacing off, pace off the rooms and then
Right.
eyesight it from the outside, say, hey, this is 5 feet short.
Okay. Investigation. Go ahead and roll an investigation test, and we'll say this is like you sizing up some things. Yeah.
If he's going outside, I
like
might
to-
have him double check that window is still open.
Hey, I can do that too while I'm out there. Just look up. Okay, let's see if I
In case
can
we need
actually
to
get a
dive
hit
out of
this
it.
time.
That's an escape.
You can do it.
Dogmore, you do notice that is open, and you also notice, by the way, that you don't see Sten anymore. You can see that everything's kind of quiet out there. There's this like little slow light breeze and all of that dried yellow grass that's like, waist high almost, is sort of waving
Great.
back and forth. Okay, Bert, you notice one irregularity. It's not so much with the size, but you do notice that there is a section on the west side of the house that looks to have been remasoned much more recently, some other places. And you take a moment to look around outside and see if there's any sort of irregularity in the grounds. There's nothing there, but the western side of the house, and you kind of do your best. You would think it's either the dining area or maybe like the servant quarter area. There's also a hallway that's nearby, but it's somewhere around there on the inside that you might want to go take a peek at.
Okay. And I'll also look up to check the window as asked.
Still open.
Okay, go back in and just report this to the people. It's like, there's something very odd in the dimensions in this area. There's a new plastering, new brickwork that's been put up, and it's in this area here.
Yeah.
I'm
And
definitely
you would
going to,
basically be pointing like on the western wing. It's down this, like there's a long hall that kind of splits the house in two, and it's like it's just underneath the balcony, and it kind of splits the house into a northern and southern half. On the northern half it's like dining room and everything. On the southern half it's like foyer. Somewhere to the western side down that hall, or towards where the servants' quarters are, it's kind of that side of the house over there somewhere.
Definitely got to relay,
Mhm.
the information I have to.
Yes, and you don't see Sten anywhere.
Sten is missing.
All right.
And the window is still open.
All right, where-
Perhaps I can try and have my dogs lead us to wherever we think this hidden door might be.
Okay. You had your dogs do some sniffing and stuff, right?
Yep.
They are taking you in the opposite direction down that same hallway. They're taking you eastward a bit, and they are kind of barking a bit at the base of a door. And you can see that they seem to be very interested or intrigued with something on the other side of this door.
Do we want to satisfy that curiosity?
Candleman?
Let's go ahead and
Is
check.
that Adam?
Let's go ahead and check that out then, I suppose.
Okay. Open the door. It's a kitchen. You can see that there's a lot of food that's been stacked up. There's lots of crates, it seems, of some dry goods, sacks of grain, things like that. There's some fruits as well. They don't look particularly ripe or healthy. Same with the vegetables as well. When you're looking around in here, there's this very large island prep area. There's these two big old ovens. There's this separate little pantry. You also see in the corner, there's also some sort of trap door that seems to go down further into the house. But you also notice that there is a bit of a mess on the ground as well, Dogmore. And
Is it the kind of mess I'm afraid it might be?
it is the kind of mess that you're afraid it might be. When you look down, you can see that there seems to be a little bit of a splurt of blood that has been splayed over one of the base of the cabinets and also on the ground. You can see that there is a basket like a little wicker basket that has been knocked over, and there's stuff that's been splayed out. You can see
Someone has spilled Aster on the ground.
you did in fact see Asta carrying this basket earlier in the day, And you don't see any signs of her. You don't see any signs of anyone else, but you do see this, and they are barking at it. And there's specifically like this torn shred of some kind of cloth that's laying in a little bit of the blood, and they are kind of like were led to that specifically.
Okay. Well, maybe they can lead us somewhere else from here, perhaps.
Trapdoor?
Make
Possibly.
way. Legitimate detectives coming through. Okay.
We'll maybe have them give that scrap of clothing a good sniffing as well, and see if they can lead us on somewhere from that, perhaps.
Okay. I would say that, I mean, they're still probably going to be over because they're still in the room, so their probably senses are going to be kind of still overwhelmed by this. So why don't you guys just tell me which way you want to go?
Do we want to do trapdoor? Or...
Yeah.
Yes, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You open it up. There's a ladder going down. It's a little tricky getting the dogs down there, but you can probably do it if you want. And
I'll probably wait up top initially, at least.
It's dark. It's kind of dry. Roots. It's a root cellar of some kind. You can see all sorts of different like old stuff like hasn't really been touched in a while. I want two folks to make a vigilance test. Whoever they for the group. So like somebody wants to do it for the. Yeah.
I would definitely have been interested in going down.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So vigilance.
Vigilance.
And I'll make one
of
as well.
Okay, go ahead, Anders. Okay.
Were we able to take the scene for a healing at any point?
You didn't say so. Unfortunately.
Perhaps could have.
But you could if you like.
You're
Okay.
in the root cellar.
The two of you don't see anything of interest, but you hear something. It's dull. It almost sounds like it's like sound traveling through like packed dirt and such. And this room is covered in masonry and stone and whatnot. And there's roots and stuff that are seeping between the seams. But you can hear the sounds of some sort of kind of a high pitched screaming, like a wailing.
Oh.
Okay. Is
See
there
if
light
we
down
can.
here?
Yeah, you look around and I'm rolling. Your vigilance tests are good, but you don't notice any. Like you go through all the crates, you move them around, you look for, you push on each one of the stones and such, and
You say it's an earthen, like earth walls, right? Or is it stone walls?
it's like it's not like stone. It's more like earthen brick type of thing. It's like
Okay.
yeah.
I want to lay my ears to it and see if it's the sound is coming, is reverberating more as I kind of move along a wall that
Yeah.
way.
You get to the western side and you can hear kind of just on the other side, you can hear it the best. Like just so further inward into the house on the western side, you can hear just one really loud pitch and then a couple others. Now that you're putting your ear against it, you can hear like a few other
okay.
echoes.
Yeah, can I kind of work out where that would be
Yeah, you start
in
doing,
relation to the rest of the house?
considering you're the one who did the other roll, you're starting to get the sense that like western side probably on the exact same, almost near the exact same position as the kitchen, but just on the western side because the kitchen's on the
Right.
east and you're looking, maybe they split the cellar in half or something like that.
Well, I'll motion to Krantz to listen and explain, dimensionally
Yeah.
where that's going to be.
Okay.
Let us find this room, this
Yeah.
torture chamber, perhaps
So we're thinking we need to go.
recreational room.
Yeah. We need to go upstairs, find where the other entrance down is, or do we need to come through this wall?
You could try to come through the wall, but it's thick enough that it would take you a fairly decent long time.
Yeah.
And some
I
tools.
think we can
Upstairs.
go through, and there's
Yeah.
there's got to be there. He would not have just buried or sealed
Yeah,
off.
that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go
That's
up and
it.
see if we can find the other way down.
Okay. So
Are
you
we
can,
thinking it's from within the house or outside to get in?
It's in the house.
Oh, I was curious. You said that there was some extra work, correct?
Mhm.
Would that line up with the bedroom as well, Victor's bedroom?
It's under no. This
No.
the Victor's bedroom's on the second floor. The mason work that Gunnar saw was on the first floor.
Okay, but it's not like on
Nah.
or not on top of each other.
No,
or
they don't
anything
line
like
up.
Okay.
Okay, so you start investigating the western side of the house. There's basically three things. There's two different rooms, one of which, when you peek in, you would presume is probably Asta's, and then the other is locked. You would imagine this might be Sten's, or it might not, who knows. And then there is a hallway on the western side that's kind of got all these different statues and artwork and stuff, all of which, by the way, is covered with just sheets. like they're all sheets. Like they're not displaying any of the artwork. Like there's different paintings hanging on the walls. There's about 4 or 5 different statues that are propped up within the hallway as well. So what would you like to do? Those are your
I
three
can try and
categories.
put my dogs to work again if we want.
Okay.
Or I was thinking Dogmore, if you want to try and pick that lock to the locked door room.
I could also try and do that too.
Okay.
If we just want to look in there.
All right. Go ahead and roll to try to pick the lock. Agility, I think. I think it's agility.
Yep. I actually have lock picks. So
Cool. They should give you a
and it
bonus.
says to use, I think, stealth.
Is it
for
stealth?
that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Stealth.
Yeah,
Precision.
stealth.
Precision. Yeah, that makes sense.
Good thing I have lock picks.
Okay.
1 success.
That's all you need. So it takes a moment, and you hear a click, and you step into the door, and you need to make an agility test.
Oh boy. Let me
Real
check
D&D
what's
on
there.
us right there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my my insight to bump this up a little bit.
Okay. You have 2 insights you can tap into. So does this mean you're tapping into both? Did you hit both?
No, just one of them.
Oh, that's right. Caius did the other one. That's right.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. One
Okay.
success.
You can see that above you there is some kind of like little machete that has been set up like a little booby trap that when the door opens it swipes down, and you manage to duck underneath it just in time, but you see a lock of whatever remaining hair you have on your 89-year-old head is cut off, and anybody who has stepped behind him is suddenly face to face with the blade of a machete that is half buried in to the door frame that is now open to you.
Can we pull
Is
this
it-
machete down?
Yeah,
Yeah, is the
Could be a
machete
lady.
usable?
yeah, one of you could take it. Sure, absolutely. You reach up, you grab it, and
Sure, old head is so happy she's with us right now.
it's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go home. You can come get me once you
Yeah,
find it.
I think that's
Yeah.
best.
So she'll
You're obviously a wonderful person. Thank you for coming. We're so terribly sorry.
Okay. You go. Would you like to come with me?
No.
Would like-
Yes,
You'll seem like
but
very nice people. I don't want to see you all have your heads split in half.
you seem like a nice person, and we'd hate to die. But we're here.
So she leaves. So she will leave. She'll go ahead and you hear her feet just as she bolts for the door and she's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come inside and you can see that there's it's a neat room. The bed does not look slept in, but you can tell that there has been somebody that has been kind of doing work here. And by work, I mean you can see that there are a variety of pelts and other furs that have been skinned and being dried and sort of being cured within this room. It stinks to high heaven. Yeah, looking
Definitely
around.
stand there then.
Yeah, you can see that there's some large pieces in here.
Well, the first thing I would want to look for is if there's a way down.
Okay. So there's like a fireplace. There's a small cabinet for clothing. There's this little cordoned off area for like a toileted area. It's not like there's no inner plumbing, but like there's a basin basically.
Yeah.
And you look around, you poke at each of these places. You don't really find anything to go down. But when you're looking through, the cabinet, like when you open up the cabinet, you see there's a handful of different types of clothing, one of which seems to be some kind of military uniform, which is sort of well adorned as well with some sort of like ribbons and things that suggests like some sort of high level, but it's sort of draped in sort of protective, like a protective sheet, so as if it's not been used, but it's still like properly tended to and cared for. You can see that there are boots at the base of it that are kind of polished to shine. And you can see that there's like a little necklace as well. there's this little necklace as well that's got a kind of a curious little symbol on it, which I will go ahead and share with you now.
All the same to you guys. I'm gonna take that sword since.
Oh, the machete? Yeah, go ahead. You can put it in as a saber. I think because I don't think there's a machete in this. If there is, you can take it.
There's rapier and there's sword or saber.
Sword or saber. All right. Okay. So if you look at the, I'll share it with you all right now. So there's like this little necklace, this little crude necklace. It's just sort of like some kind of cord, and then there's a little sort of oval, but it's like torn up. It looks old and worn, like it's sort of been discarded and not really used anymore. But it kind of looks like this strange eye, and there's these little curls on either side of the eye, and it's carved into some kind of metal. Probably it doesn't look like a precious metal. It might just be tin.
I feel like we should maybe liberate that and see if we can find something out about it later.
Sure. But you look around, Anders, and just like you just don't find anything. However, Dogmore, your dogs seem to be really interested with this statue over in the hallway. They keep kind of tugging you, kind of pulling you over towards it.
Okay.
And you can see
that's what I was hoping for.
When you pull down the sheet, you can see that the statue itself is of a woman just sort of sitting on what looks like a tree stump, and just sort of has on her lap, very, very proper, like unfolded some kind of book that she seems to be reading from. And there's like a small rose that seems to be in the seam of the book itself. And when you're looking at it, you can tell that the face that's been carved into the statue matches that you saw in the attic. And you can see that when you read a description, it does describe this as being Camilla Martinson. But as you're kind of looking around, you notice behind that there's this small little switch. Click the switch and you hear a zzz as a little sort of trap door opens up along the side, and you can see that there is a staircase going down.
Awesome. Great. I feel like we should probably attempt to return Sten's room to as normal as we can.
Other than the machete, yeah, we'll lock it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
That way it's not totally obvious we've been in there. And yeah, let's go get murdered in a basement.
Again.
Well, it's the best place.
Especially Dan.
Yep.
At least he can't go running off on his own in a basement.
Isn't there ever like one of these where we can just talk somebody down and there's not torture or monsters or possession or just a nice misunderstanding one time?
Can we just go out for a Sunday drive?
Yeah.
Out in the country.
I don't think so.
Go buy everyone an ice cream.
There's no drama there. But it's the wrong flavor, and so they want to murder everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Butter rum with raisins.
Oh, yeah.
Poor choice.
You would find a way to ruin ice cream, Anders.
Yeah, it's true. So you got this dark, dreary staircase, and when it opens up, the sounds of the screaming that you heard become a little bit more noteworthy. Still muffled, but you can hear them from below.
Is there a switch on the other side of this that would be used to open or shut it from this side?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is there like a switch that I can find on, past the entryway of this that would be used to open or shut it from this side?
Not immediately on the inside, no.
Okay. I just want to keep my eyes peeled for something like that as we enter.
Sure. Who's going first?
Let's just have me do it, because why not?
Good with that.
Okay.
I'll be directly behind.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well, he's taking the lead, and far be it to me to make it seem like his age is an issue.
Yeah.
Gunnar might be many things, but he's not ageist. No.
No, not at all.
So you start descending the staircase. Dogmar, I need you to roll an agility test.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm looking for the wrong thing apparently.
Actually, before we do this, I'm gonna go ahead and bless Dan.
Okay.
I don't think I've blessed you yet, Dogmore, this mystery.
I don't think so.
So basically, at some point during the session, you get a +2 advantage to something.
Okay. Does she have to
Do
declare
I-
that before he rolls or after?
That's what I was gonna ask too.
Great
It doesn't.
minds,
It's
Dan.
just
That's-
advantage, so I don't know whenever you're supposed to
Okay.
declare advantage.
Probably before then, because I think advantage has to be declared before you roll.
I only roll 3 for agility, so
Do you wanna
let's
use it right now?
better than what I would do.
let's go ahead and roll it right now.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
You go
Oh.
as you go stepping down, you
Ooh.
notice that there's a kind of a false step. And as you put your foot on it, you can feel it kind of give way, but you quickly pull it off and you're able, I'll say, with all 3 of those to turn around and just to kind of warn everybody. And this definitely, this definitely would have tripped. This is likely like an early warning mechanism or something like that. Like if you know about this step, you can kind of step over top of it, but everyone's able to very easily and deftly. And I'll say with 3 successes, you also get down here very, very quietly as well.
Yay.
And when you get down there, you first and then Gunnar shortly thereafter, you can see a very damp, partially lit. You can see there's actually some light. There's 2 lanterns set up. To your right, when you get down at the bottom of this staircase, you can see there's all sorts of bookcases. There's some sort of wash basin. There's some crates and things. There's a desk with more work on it, and you can see off to the left. There's a couple more tables with some maps unfurled. There's a lot of broken things down here as well. You can see that there's like broken tables and broken crates and broken sticks. You can see that there is a small bedroll that has been unfurled, and there's also a door that is metal and is in between what looks to be some kind of stone wall, and it is through that wall that you're kind of hearing the sounds of this yelping. Doesn't appear to be anyone in here, but there's 2 lanterns that have been set up. There's 1 lantern that's sitting on the ground by the bedroll, and then there's 2 candles that are on the desk that are lit. And you can actively hear the sounds of like the screaming and the yelping on the other side of the door.
I'm super worried about someone approaching from behind us, but I also don't have anything neat to use in regards to that.
Yeah, can we get a better description on what the screaming sounds like? Does it sound like it's...
Now that you're closer, it doesn't sound human. It sounds higher pitched than you would imagine. It's like, and then it's kind of echoing here and there, and you hear also interspersed are the sounds of like high pitched barking, almost like fox barks and other things like that.
Those sound in pain as well, or do they sound more like antagonizing?
Definite pain. Not sure you could discern the intention from the scream.
If we want to open this door,
It
Well,
sounds
does it like, do the dogs and barking also sound like they're barking out of pain, or?
No, those sound more like reactionary to the initial scream.
Okay.
I worry that either Sten or Victor are in here right now. If it's Sten, we'll probably have to fight him immediately. If it's Victor, I don't know.
I'm gonna double check to make sure I remember to load my revolver. I sometimes forget that.
Okay, pull
Make
it
sure
out.
I got my brass knuckles slid on in the
Sigurd's-
coat pocket.
Sigurd's gonna ask if anybody wants to do a quick confession before we go. If anybody's got
I'm
a lot
so
of
sorry
mental
about so many
issues.
things.
What does
yeah.
that do?
It's 2 or 3 mental conditions.
I will definitely take you up on that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So
How many do you have?
you're sitting here doing confession. Okay. All right.
It's scene based.
I have...
So since there is no immediate threat right here.
Is there?
Is there?
Well, I mean, like in the room right in front of us, so we can do scene.
Okay.
I have 1 mental.
How many
All
do you
right.
have, Anders?
You guys take him.
2.
Okay. So then I can just do one person because it's just a scene. So
Okay.
I'll
No.
do the person with the
Okay.
most. So that would be
Get
Anders.
rid of
I have 2
mine.
physical and 1 mental.
Yeah, I can't do anything with the physical unless it's a rest, a longer period of time.
I'll get my dagger out.
I've done confession before. I can do confession on the fly.
Uh-huh.
What
Uh-huh.
do you feel bad about, Anders? This.
I feel bad about a lot of things. It might be easier for me to tell you what I don't feel bad about.
Say you're sorry about the rum raisin.
I'm sorry about the rum raisin. I was just trying to hurt people.
Fair enough.
That's
Shooting ruin
why
ice
the
cream.
police keep talking to me.
All right. When we open the door, let's not be standing in front of it in case
a good
it's
idea.
trapped also. So I'll open the door.
Okay.
Open the door.
Now you can tell that this is a door that probably is normally locked, but as you go to reach and push it open, it isn't, and it swings open with a comically loud creak and slams
Of course.
against a cage. And you can see that there is a room that's not too long, maybe 20, 25 feet long. A couple lanterns are set up, and you can see left and right there's just stacks of cages that go floor to ceiling that are filled with a variety of different critters and creatures, some of which are, you can tell at this point, of a tier, some of which look more like frogs and turtles, and some of them look like rabbits and foxes and such, some of which seem to be active and screaming and shaking the cages, some of which seem to be barking, some seem to be laying limp and might be dead. Straight ahead, however, is the more interesting thing, where you see the back of a man that you would know is Victor Martinson, kind of his dirty, dark blondish hair, and his bare feet, strangely enough. And you can tell that his suspenders are pulled off his shoulders and are hanging limply down his baggy pants. And on the other side of him is some kind of table. And that seems to be where the initial loud screams are coming from. And periodically, you see him, like as you're watching, he'll kind of move his arm down, flex it, and it's kind of covered in blood. And as the door swings open and makes the sounds, he'll immediately shout out, won't immediately turn around, and he'll say, "No, now, Sten, I'm busy." And then the door will continue, and he'll kind of look over, and then he'll, What are you doing here? Get out! This isn't for you."
That's a lot to do with all of us.
"It's got nothing to do with you. How dare you? This is my private work. Get out now!" And you can see he's holding like a scalpel in one hand, and he's got like some kind of surgical tong in his left hand. And as he goes to turn, he's wearing some kind of apron. It's covered in, looks like blood. And you get the faint glimpse of a creature laying on top of a table.
Can I try to just sucker punch him while he's while we're
25
talking?
feet away, isn't he?
He's a ways away. I don't think you can sucker punch
Okay.
him, but you
All
can
right.
charge in and punch him. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
We can do initiative. Like, I have no issues with just going straight into initiative if that's your
Yeah,
preference.
I don't think talking
I
is
think-
going to work here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. He mistakenly blames this creature for his mother's death, but we'll kill the whole
Yep.
town instead.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me go ahead and throw out.
So is that our opportunity to try and talk instead of fighting?
I
him?
imagine my character's like getting ready to clear his throat and start talking, and then everyone else just bum rushes him.
Same thing with
was-
Sigurd. Sigurd was hoping for a little talking.
All right, let's do.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I mean, I don't want to like kill the guy. I mean, I
Oh,
do
yeah,
want
yeah.
to rush in while he's still a little
Subdue him.
off settled, and if we can
Yeah.
just
We'll just break
glom him to
but
hold
not
him
kill
down,
no,
and
it's fine.
yeah,
No, you're totally fine.
But-
Mhm.
Does anyone have any like weird initiative things that they do with any talents?
I do not.
All right, I'm gonna deal one card out to everybody, and then
I'm bad at it.
and then I'll take one
It's my only
myself.
weird thing.
That's your weird thing about combat.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, did you all get one?
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody not get
Um,
one?
oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, it was
You might-
underneath my window.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Cannot catch a break.
Dude, I feel you. I got a 10.
Got an 8.
Oh gosh, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Let me set up the.
6.
I got a 5.
And
right.
Sten, who's walking up behind us, got the one.
You got the one.
Yeah.
Probably. That's why I was looking for some way to shut that door upstairs.
Okay.
Fortunately,
Got a
I've got the
9.
one.
That's the wrong person. And this is Victor, right? Okay. There we go. Let me add folks to the encounter. All right. So over by the fist in the upper right of Foundry, you can click on that. That's the encounter. You can punch in your number, whatever you got.
Okay.
Just be careful because it does it's annoying, but it'll
Auto
reorder a
sort.
person right.
Yeah, type, don't use the arrows. I learned that the other day.
Yeah.
All right, where is it again? I'm not.
Fist?
The fist
Next
symbol in the
corner.
upper right. It's one over from where the chat
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
icon is.
All right.
You just punch into your number. And I'll wait for
Do
Yürgan.
2 people have a 1 somehow?
That can't be right.
Now Gunnar had a.
I'll fix it. I think I know what happened because you had the 10, right, Chuck?
I had the 10.
Yeah.
Oh, my
What
10's
sometimes
missing.
happens is that the while one person is typing, it shifts, and so Gunnar, you had 8, I think. All right, all fixed. All right, so Caius is the one who gets to go first.
Good thing you loaded that gun.
So you've got this man who's screaming and yelling, and he's, "Get out of my house! How dare you!" You know, whatever voice I used with him. I think I used like a Jersey voice with him, but
That sounds right.
yeah.
Because you couldn't shake it. That's
You
right.
son of a bitch! What you doing? This is my house. Why are you coming in here? That's not right either. I don't know what I'm doing. Caius, you're up.
So this isn't quite the same as like werewolves. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is just a dude and it's Dr. Yürgan's
Yeah.
friend. So I don't see Caius like just
Okay.
shooting him. I
I
don't
should-
see that happening.
I should point out, by the way, that one of the things you're allowed to do in most Free League games with cards is that, like, before the round starts, if you want to switch cards with somebody else so that they go before you, and you can do that. Like, you can freely with someone on your team, as long as you're in the same area and as long as they're willing to do so, you can switch cards.
Gunner.
Gunner
Those were
made it very
Gunner's.
clear
Okay.
what he wanted to do. Like Caius kind of
Alright.
does the whole like freeze and then just like
All right, I'll fix that, and
Okay.
I'll give Gunnar the 1, and then I'll give Caius the 8, and let's. I'm just gonna go skip it to the next turn. And Gunnar, it is your turn.
Okay. So I will try to punch him, hoping to knock him out.
Right. You can take a fast action to close the distance, and then you have your slow action. If you
Okay.
would like, I will declare a defense.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And I do have that special talent where I get a defense
For free.
an extra defense. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Hope this works.
Okay.
One success.
Okay. You can push. Do you want to push?
We need to get this over with quickly. So, yes, I will push. I'll push this once.
Okay.
It's a lot of dice to come up with only one.
Okay. So
Yeah. Okay.
all right. So
And so I pick a physical
pick a physical.
trait.
Yep. Physical
Alright.
condition. And,
I'm angry.
that makes sense. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and roll his defense. All right. So he's got 5. I rolled 1. So the damage, I will still take a damage, which means he is actually still up. 2 damage would
Does
take
the
him down.
knuckle? So if a regular fist does 1, using the knuckle thing, it doesn't give you any more. It's just it's still a
Let's check
1.
it. Let me check to see.
I have it open right now. It's one damage. It gives you an
It gives you a
additional
bonus.
die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kick or punch doesn't have the bonus.
Okay.
So it gives you an extra dice. But you do get 1 damage through, but he manages just at the last second to sort of make sure that your blow wasn't a full-on smack right to his face, and it catches him in the side. So that he's still going. He is up next. I did just burn my action to defend, so I can't like actually turn and attack you at this point. So I think what he'll do is he will. Gosh, really not much
Is
he
that an
can
action
do.
or a fast action to defend?
That's actually a good point. I think he does have
They're
an
so
action.
fast.
It is a fast action reaction, so I
Yeah.
can actually attack you. So he'll go ahead instinctively and just swipe back out at you with his 5. It's going to be. Oops, I didn't mean to push that. Sorry, that's a mistake. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so 1. All right, so I can defend.
No. That
since
was a
I got-
mistake. That was a mistake. That wasn't supposed to roll.
Oh,
There we go. because he had taken.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, so how do I do a
Roll
defense?
your roll. You can go roll close combat.
Close combat? Okay, roll close. Okay, gotcha. Bomb 1.
Okay, so you can go ahead and block one of those, and so you as well would take 1 damage back.
Okay.
And then we continue to move on, and it's going to be Dogmore's turn.
I'm actually wanting to try and potentially wait for, I assume, Sten to be coming down the stairs behind us here.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know if there's a good place to kind of hide a little bit to be out of sight.
Sure. Take
but
cover.
Kind of ambushy.
Yeah, take cover. You
Take
can
cover.
hide behind one of the desks or some of the barrels and such and try to lay in cover if he does come down. And then we'll move over to Sigrid then.
I suspect between the 5 other people, we can probably take care of this guy. It's Sten that I'm worried about with nobody looking.
Yeah, I mean, like, Gunnar almost got him in one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already looking labored. He has no armor. He's just got regular clothes on.
It's who we're not watching for that worries me.
Yeah. So I'm also going to do essentially it's a kick or a punch. Like I have a knife or a dagger, but I'd really just be using the back of it because I'm just
Pummel
trying to knock
him.
out.
Okay. You're just trying not to kill him. You're just kind of going up trying to knock him out. Sure. Go ahead and roll. He can't do anything.
Oh.
Never mind. He's dead. And you've ended the Martinson line. 4 successes. I will say with 4 successes, you very easily can take the dagger and just with the pommel jam it right into his temple and he'll crumple right before you and Gunnar. Like just to the ground, knocked completely out. Not dead, not completely out.
I will never roll that well again when I'm actually trying to like hurt something that's trying to kill us, unfortunately.
That's impressive.
And as far as you know, that's the end of combat. So we'll go ahead and end that combat there. And you look around and you can see that laying Gunnar, Sigrid, you're right there. You can see this is a Vatir. You've met them before. This is one of the ones that looks more like a rat than it does like a reptile or an amphibian. Hard to distinguish like male from female or anything, but this figure is just laying there, eyes kind of open, bunch of cuts and sutures. They've effectively being vivisected. You can see there's all sorts of different jars here and there with different chemicals, as if and like there's like an eyedropper. Looks like possibly he's been taking little different chemicals and dropping them here and there. You can see that there's now that you're up here, there's a couple buckets as well. There's buckets of water. There's buckets of bloody water. And then you can see there's also buckets where there's like little pieces of, well, what you think it might be. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and have everyone make a fear test just because this is sort of a horrible situation. So
I have to make it. I'm not in there.
That's fair. If you didn't step into the room, well, you did open the door though, I think. I'm going to have everyone roll it. So
if you have safety in numbers, it's +2.
There was the guy.
Everyone
blocking.
gets, yeah. I'll give
we get 1 for each person who's in the same zone as us,
up to
right?
3. Up to +3.
Okay.
So 3 is your maximum. So all of you can basically take +3 on that. Again, you choose either your empathy or your logic to roll. You don't add a skill. It's just the attribute.
Do I get a better shot at this since it's like a gory scene?
I don't know. On the one hand, I want to say yes, but on the other hand, it's also one of your oldest friends that's actually the perpetrator of this Frankensteinian-like creation. So,
That's fair.
Yeah. So if anyone fails, you just basically take a mental condition. That's it. That's all we got to worry about here. I'm not going to make anything else. And as it's kind of a gruesome and awful and horrific sight.
Yeah. Kind of when I pull my shit back together, can I start looking for the queen?
Yeah. It's hard. Like, you never really got a description of what she looks like.
Yeah.
When you look around, you can see that there are some conscious and they're kind of staring at you, kind of curious, like, what the hell's happening? And they see you attack and knock this guy out, and they're like, help us?
Yeah, we're here to help you. We're also looking for the queen. We'll get all of you out.
Okay.
Is she still alive? Is she here?
And you can see, like, when you ask the queen, they all kind of look down, ashamed.
I would like to do two things so we're not
Yeah.
caught unaware. Can we close that door that we came down through?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
To
I
back
want to bar it.
back to Dogmore's point, there was a switch at the base of the stairs, by the way, that triggers the upstairs thing. But yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Right. And just make sure that it can't be opened from the other side. So either bar it, or if that mechanism does it, great. And then hog tie the guy just to make sure he doesn't.
Not a problem. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. So you're doing that. Maybe someone's giving you a hand. Maybe Dogmore and you are kind of setting up to make sure that there's no ambush from behind. Anders, you're talking to them. Yürgan, Sigrid, Caius, what are the three of you kind of dedicating your time to?
We can get them out. Asking Dr. Yürgan, is this something you can help? I mean,
how many of them are like? How many total can we estimate are
alive
in here?
About a dozen between animals and clearly like in Vatir form. There's others that are in cages that might not be. Some of the ones that you start letting out have clearly been messed with.
Okay.
Like some of them are coming out missing eyes. Some of them are coming out missing limbs. Yeah, it's
any of them that seem to need some sort of attention, I'll try and ferry them over.
I'll say if you want, you can roll a medicine test on the one that was being worked on right then to see if you can manage to save them. And if you failed, then you are unable to. Would you like to push? Nope. Would you like to push that?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
You try as best you can. You really do. And
definitely taking hopeless from that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, this one, sadly, like at a certain point you realize it's just there's nothing you can do, and you just they just kind of drift off.
Sigrid wants to follow up on Anders' question.
Sorry.
Because if like is her body somewhere? Because I imagine, I mean, this group's gonna want to, more than just what happened to her, but
they all kind of like look over into the corner of the room back behind where the basins are, and when you go over there, there's just like boxes filled with just discarded folk.
It's the bits box.
Yeah. And if you let them out, like they are, like they're horrified. They're very appreciative, obviously, but they're also furious and ashamed. Like there's a whole complex array of emotions that they're all kind of feeling. One of them is probably, we'll say one that kind of looks a little frog-like is doing most of the talking. But they identify the body of Queen Uni. And again, they just, like, you can see that there's a sense of shame, like they let her down, so to speak. And
and Sigrid will try her best to, do kind of quick on the spot kind of trauma work with them, just around like this is.
Roll an inspiration test. Let's see how good you are. And if you fail, they die of heartbreak.
Oh no!
Don't say that.
I like putting pressure on the roll. Would you like to push that?
What am I doing right now?
You're trying to like just talk them up. You're trying to give them hope. You're trying to inspire them.
Oh, okay.
This is
I have a +2 for treating mental critical injuries.
Yeah, we'll treat. You can take it.
So that's why
I'll give it to you. Yeah, you can take it. You're like basically doing what Yürgan did, but you're trying to like keep them together and keep them from breaking.
No.
Put 2 more d6 on it.
Yeah,
then.
just add 2 more d6. You can just hit the d6 button twice and then hit roll. And
yeah, I actually did the plus thing and I got it all confused.
Okay. And then open it up to see if you rolled more. So
I did not.
Okay. So do you want to push?
Yes. So now I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again.
Okay. Just roll 8 d6s. Take a mental condition and then roll 8 d6s. Okay. Two successes in there, and you do manage to, like, as they're when they see the body of Queenie, you see like all of them just trying to fall and collapse, and like you see them just start to curl up on the ground and like ready to just give up right then and there. But you kind of talk them into it. You tell them, like, like it's not their fault. It's not them. This was a horrific act,
and as I'm doing that, kind of the condition that I'm taking is angry. So
Yep.
like the more and more I'm trying to kind of
You're
reassure
getting
them, the
angry.
angrier and angrier that I'm getting at the fact that this happened to them and to her.
And so while you're doing that, you can see that they too are getting angry, and you have certainly cheered them up, moved them away from the melancholy that was overtaking them. They're furious, and they charge after the body that is now being hogtied by Gunnar. And they are kind of going after, like scratching him, biting him, doing whatever they can. Are you all stopping any of this?
I'm going to try to let them know that we came here specifically with a deal with the leadership so that they could do this.
Okay.
We're actually trying to save
Bring him to trial.
other humans with what's going on. There's been a lot going on since you've been down here. And I totally understand your desire for revenge. But that will be once we can get you back to the Grove, that maybe you all can figure that out. But we need to bring him back alive.
Okay. I'll roll over your inspiration test. I won't require any sort of manipulation. We'll just say that this is part of your talk with them, and that seems to have settled them. What else are we doing? No one seems to have tried to open the door. You don't hear any footsteps above you.
Yeah.
He's going to be waiting at distance.
He is. He's got that shoddy.
I know this sounds unpleasant, but at the same time, maybe appropriate. Should we maybe bring the queen so that she can be buried and given a...
Yep.
I'll
already be starting on that.
Carry the bit box, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Jeremy, you're trying so hard not to be insensitive.
I also think rather than this dude being hogtied, he needs to be able to walk so we can walk him out like a hostage.
I'm worried about him running as well, though.
If we've got his hands tied and got a gun to him, I'm just worried that as soon as we come out free and clear, if we don't have
his
something
legs partially, so
like
that he can't, like,
yeah, that way we can like pull a rope and trip him up.
I want to put his body between us and Sten.
Sure, and I don't think that there's a reason I talked about the window. I don't think we should go out the doors.
It's going to be rough getting us all through that window.
I know, but we can at least go look out the window and see if we see him, perhaps. Because if we know which side of the building he's on, then perhaps we know if we can leave one or the other. It might be an advantage for us.
Okay.
First thing we got to do is just get up the stairs and have Sten
Yeah,
be at
Mhm.
the top of the stairs.
Because he could just be waiting there too.
Is anybody, are you guys doing any healing scene? Are you taking a scene to heal, taking a few moments, some time?
I think it might be dangerous to do it down here.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of safe at the same time, though.
Yeah, but I think if you give this man who's a professional hunter and clearly likes to set traps, I think the more time we give him, the more danger we're in.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
And there's only one exit out of here, so I don't like that.
Yeah, let's get all these creatures out of the cages. Let's get him in front of us like a hostage, and let's make our way out.
Okay.
I agree.
Who's going first?
I can do it again. Why not?
Whoever.
Or do we have our
somebody strong enough that
unconscious
can push him?
friend go first?
Our unconscious friend should go first with.
Well, if he's unconscious, we got to carry him, right? So
yeah, if he's unconscious,
he's not
you
going
gotta carry
first.
him, Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll say Dogmore. You go up. You hit the.
I'll go nice and slow.
You hit the lever. I mean, you know where the step is, so you're fine. You hit the lever, and you realize that like the lever kind of is working, and you go up to the top of the stairs, and you realize that the door seems to be sort of jammed and stuck in some way. Roll a vigilance test.
Can I allow my dogs to help me with this one,
Of
or
course.
is this all on me?
I'll let your dogs do it too. Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. Where are you, dogs?
What's up, Jeremy? How's it going?
You look so distressed.
Yeah. Jeremy's faces always make me happy. I have a joke. Never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. Never mind.
2
We're not gonna talk
successes
about
out
it
of
here.
all that.
Okay. You notice that it appears as though something has been jammed into sort of the little alcove where the door was. It's sort of keeping that sort of false panel from opening. That's
Mhm.
one success. The second success, you smell smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's jammed in and the building's on
I was
fire.
afraid
which is
of.
what I thought about. I didn't say it in the basement because I didn't want it to be true.
Is it all that nice dry grass around the house
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Which means-
We saw evidence too that the lady was attacked
Yes.
above, right? And we never saw her body.
That's correct.
Sure didn't.
Right.
She's not, and you don't see her anywhere down here.
Well, I believe haste is of the essence at this point. Can I try and knock out whatever's been jammed in here? Like, is it
Brute force in the door,
Force test, please.
okay?
and I'll help.
Okay, I'll let one person assist. It's a fairly narrow staircase at the top.
I've got
so.
a 5.
Maybe you should try it
Anybody
then, and I
else?
can help you instead.
Okay.
I'm not good in the physical department.
Oh, because mine would be 4.
I'm straining with a box.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you pass. You manage to. It takes a little time with only one success, but you pushing and pushing,
I
and
don't
you.
think you rolled for my help though.
Oh no.
Yeah, roll
Just
an extra
one more.
d6. If you get a second success, it'll get out faster, which would be useful to you.
Nope.
Okay, you're all gonna die. So you're down there, and you're trying.
Thanks. It's all my fault.
And it's taking a while. You probably pass up like different tools to try to like jam it open. And finally, you manage to pop it open, and you're in the hallway, and you can see that the entire hallway is like the whole half, like top half of the ceiling is covered in smoke. You see what looks like flames flickering out from the hallway towards the servants' quarters. You see flames flickering out from the dining hall, which is the middle of the area. You can see flames all the way down the hallway by where the kitchen is. And it's incredibly, incredibly hot. You see flames kind of kicking up from here and there. Like it's not completely overrun the entire house yet, but it's on the whole house is on fire.
And it's mostly on the back side that we can see.
You can't really see the front side from where you're at, so it's hard to tell.
Okay.
We just need to go to the nearest exit.
If we get it opened up, I want to just peer around the corner real quick, make
Okay.
sure nobody's just barreling down on us from there.
Okay, so you're peering where exactly? You're just peering.
Around
You
the
know,
corner.
corner to
Okay.
corner.
All right, so you go to the corner, you look around, and you can see that right in the foyer, it looks like the whole front door and the ornate staircases are kind of ablaze currently. And you don't see any signs of anybody. You're looking around. I'll roll over your vigilance test from before, and you don't. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't
Is the
see
front
signs of anything.
front door accessible?
Front door seems closed, but there are flames flickering around it. You can probably get through. I'll tell you mechanically, you would all have to make an agility test to sort of avoid being caught on fire as you're moving through.
I kind of want to check that steady window.
Okay, you can do that. You can try to go in there. So you go over to the door.
I'll kind of gesture people forward.
Yeah. And so you can go over to the door of the study, and you can see that the study is also like the walls themselves, because it's adjacent to the foyer, have caught on fire, but there does seem to be a clear path to the window. But that window is now shut, that you can see. It's locked, but you go up to it, takes a second, you flip it open. Just takes an extra second, not too long. And yeah, because you left that window open, you're all able to climb out at that point. I would like everyone to roll a force test just from the smoke. Has kind of gotten overwhelming, but none of you are going to catch on fire because of Dogmore's quick thinking. And if you fail, just go ahead and take a physical condition.
And force test?
Force, yeah, because it's just sort of like the physical body of breathing in smoke and coughing.
Oh boy. Nope.
I'm one away from broken.
Did you push, Caius? Or no?
No,
Okay.
I only have 2. I have 2 physique and no force, and
Okay.
I'm already exhausted.
Who's the first out the window?
Probably me, since I wanted to look out with my binoculars before we went out, but
Okay.
that's acceptable. But
Roll a vigilance.
okay.
Okay. You do not see anything. You look out.
Okay.
You look out. You don't see anything.
Okay, I'll just wave us out then,
Okay.
and I'll go out first,
So
and then I'll probably have to have somebody help me lower my dogs down.
as all of you
Yeah.
are in the study and you're watching as Dogmore climbs out, and you have like a moment, like the study is a decently safe place. You hear the sound of a distant gunshot ring out.
Bye, Dogmore.
And Dogmore, as being the first one out, that's 2. So
Am I allowed to take any action against that, or do I? keep
yes,
that?
I'll say well, actually, you failed in comparison to the contested stealth versus vigilance test. I had 4 successes on my stealth.
Damn.
So I'm gonna say, I'm just double checking ambush rules really fast.
The 89-year-old eyes just didn't.
We'll remember
I
you
may not
forever,
have anything
Dogmore.
on that then.
Extra successes as +1. I actually get another d6. +1 to your first action of the round. So let me just roll that extra d6. I'm good. You're good on that. It doesn't say you can't do anything. So yeah, you can go ahead and try to roll your reactive test. I think because it's ranged, it is agility though, I believe, because you're dodging out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right. So
I think that puts me straight to broken then.
it's actually 3 damage. It's not calculating correctly because the rifle is 2 damage base, and then I have an extra success, so it's 3 damage.
Okay. Well, not directly to broken, just almost.
All right. So 3 total damage, and you're not broken?
Not yet,
Okay.
but soon.
You're at 0. Okay. All right. So you all hear this, all of you inside. Dogmore just got shot. You can hear as he gets shot, and you look out, Dogmore, and you don't see where this came from. You look out and you hear it. You know the general direction that it's basically in the direction of like the road to the sort of southwestish, but you can't see specifically where it's coming from. So what does everybody want to do with that information now that Dogmore's climbed out and gotten shot?
Whoever's got a gun should go next.
Okay.
Either that or you guys just go a different direction and leave me.
No. Out the window.
Okay. Caius, you hop out the window.
Panic. Look around.
Yürgan.
I'm following suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know where he's at.
Are you helping the Vatir out as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if there's space in pockets or whatever, just
Okay.
I'm probably carrying the body, so I'm going to throw the body through the window and then follow.
It just crashes through and on the ground. No problem.
be a jerk.
Okay. So I'll let somebody else, now that you all are out and you have another view, I'll let one other person roll vigilance. If you want to look to see where that's coming from.
I can roll it.
Okay.
I'll gladly
And-
assist if possible.
Yeah, go ahead. So go ahead and take your extra die.
I'll roll it. Yeah, I'll roll that bonus with mine. And okay.
Okay, 4 successes.
Yes.
You
There
can
we go.
see that there is a barn off to the southwest, and you can see that it's like the angle's perfect, and you can see just the flutter of movement, and you can see a couple birds fly up off of the rooftop of the barn. There's the planks of wood in the barn itself seem to be it's not in good shape, so some of them,
Yeah.
so there's like a crease in it. Likely it came from in or around the barn somewhere.
Okay. I would call it out. He's in the barn and try to find some way to put. Is there any way we can put the house between us and the barn?
Yes. It would mean running away. So
Yeah.
you'd basically be running eastward. If you run eastward along the face of the house, you're completely at a sort of gunshot range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be my go this way. He's shooting from the barn.
And so
Okay.
does everyone follow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay.
you all
Drag
follow
our
the Fatir as
unconscious
well.
man.
Yeah, that they're following as well. And so you effectively are at kind of like the front stoop of the house at this point. You can see, you can't see the barn any further. It can't see you. What do you want to do? What's the plan? And the house, as you're looking at the house, by the way, the fire is spreading pretty quickly. It's like Caius was saying, everything's dry. Everything's been sort of worn out, and the fire seems to be spreading pretty quickly now. Smoke is just sort of erupting up into the air.
My vote would be go straight to the grove.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. All right. So you start hustling over towards the grove, which I will say this, that if you head in that direction, you're kind of heading northwesternly. While you probably can outrange the barn, you will be in kind of open, heavy grass for a while.
Well, if we curve, I mean, the barn's only going to give him
Yeah.
certain,
no, for sure.
you know.
You'll outpace and everything, but it's possible he could see you all, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want as wide a berth as we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
My hope is that if he chases us, maybe if we get to the grove first, that Vatir will save us.
Okay. Okay. So
Save this adorable army.
how about we say this? How about somebody roll a stealth test for the group to try to kind of lead the way and take like the best angle, to take the wide berth, like Sigrid said. Someone roll a stealth test to just sort of
I've
like
got
lead the group.
6. Who's got more?
You do it.
I would have 5, but I'm down to 3.
Yeah, it's you, Sigrid.
I got nothing.
Okay.
No pressure.
Actually, it'll actually be 5 because I'm down 1 too. But hopefully, no.
Push.
This is physical.
Real good.
It's physical.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
There we go.
Successful. All right.
Yeah.
So just remember that stealth is opposed against vigilance. So
Damn.
you all go ahead and you begin as best you can finding a path towards the barn, taking a wide berth, keeping low because the high grass could also benefit you if you stay low. Moving to like the ruins of one building behind a tool shed, going off to the cider house as best you can. Let me roll a little test to see how he does, if he's looking for you all.
Good news is hunters are probably terrible at vigilance.
I mean, I'm only rolling 8 dice, so it's not that big a deal.
Still
Okay.
less than I rolled, and I still didn't succeed.
Okay.
That's
So
true.
it's possible he won't either.
All right. So I just rolled
Not
that.
likely, but it's possible.
I just rolled that privately. Okay. So all of you are heading out towards the grove. It's going to take you again, probably about 10 minutes. I say if you're hustling, it's going to take about 10 minutes maybe to get all the way out there. Usually if you're just sauntering, slowly walking, it's probably a 15 to 20 minute walk. But since you're picking up the pace, it's fine. When you get within about 100 or so yards, Dogmore, your dogs start going crazy. Your dogs start barking, and then suddenly you hear the echo of other dogs barking. And you look behind you, and you can see loping through the high grass. You can see suddenly like that scene from the second Jurassic Park where like the different raptors were converging on their group. You can see that there is a host of these tall, black, skinny dogs that are loping after you all.
Oh no.
You count 3 in total. And we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and do initiative for this. We'll keep the same order because I don't want to redeal the cards. But they are chasing behind you. So let me go. I'll enter them. Anders, you were.
I was 10.
You were 10. Caius, you had switched.
In trouble.
You had switched with Gunnar, so you're 8. Dogmore, what were you? 6.
Yep.
Gunnar, you were first. Sigrid, what were you again?
7.
7.
Are in trouble.
It's gonna say Victor for me, but it's actually not Victor. I'm just going to put it in, just so I know what turn I go on. And then Yürgan, what was yours?
Initiative.
Yes.
9.
9. Okay. So Gunnar, you're the first to notice that these dogs are really close. We'll say they're within a zone of you at this point. The sounds of Dogmore's dogs barking has alerted you to them. If you want to close the distance to them, they are literally one zone away. So for anyone with guns and such like that, that could actually help you at this point. So
I'm carrying the body.
Okay.
So I guess I could can I throw a knife? I have a knife from the last.
Yeah.
Is it a revolver that you have? And what's your gun?
I'm okay with
I don't have a gun.
You can throw
Oh, okay. I thought you had a gun. Maybe not.
No.
I do.
Yeah, I don't see like it. That makes sense. Throw a knife, that's fine. A thrown spear is 0 to 1, so we'll treat it the same way. Thrown knife 0 to 1. So yeah, go for it. Okay. So yeah, you managed to throw it off in the direction where you see some of the high grass tipping, and you hear as it definitely has hit something in the grass. And then do you use your movement, your fast action to continue moving towards the groves? Like you're within about 100 yards or so. You're getting close.
I don't want to get in front of anyone shooting, so no.
Okay. All right. So then after that, it'll be the dogs' turns. That's what the victor thing is. Sorry. So they'll start closing in. You can see that one of them seems to not pounce in, but the other two do. One of them is going to go after Dogmore because he's got all these dogs. I think the other one I'll do a random die here, starting with Chuck at 1. It'll be 2, so it's going to go after Sigrid. So 1 at Dogmore, 1's going to be at Sigrid. Right.
I will defend.
Okay, so you use your
yeah.
fast action to defend. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Same.
So first one will be against Dogmore. That's going to be a miss. Second one will be against Sigrid. That'll be a miss. Oh, that'll be a hit. Excuse me. 1 on Sigrid. So go ahead and roll your defense.
Close combat?
Close combat. Yeah, because it's up in melee on you now. So
Nope.
okay.
All right, that puts me down to 3
Okay.
physical conditions.
All right. And then Yürgan. Yeah, I think Yürgan makes the most sense here. Yürgan, I need you to make a force test.
Oh no. Is it the diarrhea again?
No. It's something much worse.
Oh no.
Worse?
Worse than diarrhea? Dysentery? What?
I fail.
I succeed. You suddenly come up and your leg just gives out and goes completely and utterly numb. Then your other leg does too. And you just collapse kind of to the ground, and you just can't feel your legs anymore. You look down, there's no trap. Your legs are just suddenly they're just not working. Just utterly not working at all. And you're just kind of collapsed there. That'll be that turn, and then
Is it just immobilized me is all?
Yep. You're immobilized.
Probably that
Carl.
one weird metal thing.
You are unable to walk.
Going to have to crawl.
The bright side, I only rolled 1 success, so which would have done extra damage if I did more. Okay, so next up is going to be...
do any damage?
It did not do any damage. I only did 1 success. So
Good, I can't take any damage of any kind.
Dogmore, you're up.
Sick those dogs on him.
Boy. I'm halfway debating about just starting another fire.
Okay. It's just dry grass in almost every direction, but northwest, where you see a beautiful green flush grove about 100 yards away. It's just the other side of a football field. Look how close you guys are.
That's enough room to die for Dogmore.
Would you like to-
I'm trying to think of how I can maximize this. I have a what is it? A tornado lamp, hurricane lamp.
Hurricane lantern. Yeah.
So I'm thinking I might use that to just start another fire.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
yeah, I mean, if you invest your you've already invested your 1 action in defense. Your fast, so you're slow. You can. I'll say if you invest your whole slow in it, you can just chuck your lantern.
Am I still in the grass?
What's that?
Am I in the grass?
Yeah, everybody's in the grass.
And you can't move out of the grass.
Yürgan quite literally cannot walk.
Assume someone can carry
His
him.
legs have completely
Is this a mistake?
stopped working. All right. So that's Dogmore. Dogmore, you have now set the area on fire. I'm assuming it's not immediately near you. I'm assuming you're throwing it behind you, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, that's what I assumed. Sigrid, your turn.
And for what it's worth, I took a talent. Fleet-footed. During combat, you may move within your zone without using an action.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you can move. The only problem is you do have these dogs on you, but you're not fleeing combat, so you're just sort of readjusting. It's okay. Sigrid,
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
you'll hear from Yürgan on the ground.
Yeah, perhaps I'll move towards him or something.
Okay, so you move towards Yürgan, no problem. Sigrid, you got a dog right in front of you.
And I already used my
Doberman of
fast
some kind.
action. Okay, I already tried to use my fast action, so I'll.
Unless you have that one defensive trait that like Gunnar has.
Oh yes, I do.
Okay, so
I
you
do.
still have your full complement of actions then.
That's right. So I want to stab the dog and run. Can I do that?
Yes. So go ahead and roll your attack, your close combat.
All right.
Go ahead and attack the dog.
Unsuccessfully.
Okay.
And I run.
All
I'm
right.
hoping the fire might make things hard for Sten.
Dogmore, as you're stepping away from this dog that is attacking you, you notice that this thing is just covered in wounds. You can see burn wounds, brands, bite wounds. This dog has not been treated well. Like whatever is attacking you, like you get the sense that this thing was sort of brutally trained to do whatever it is it's doing. Like you can, like it's still a dog, it's still attacking you, it's still trying to hurt all of you, but like you can see, I mean, dogs, you've saved dogs, you've had issues with trying to save dogs in the past. You can tell that these things were harmed. Caius, what would you like to do?
Most frustrating.
I'm gonna shoot a dog.
Okay. There's one that's by itself, and there's one that's up against Sigrid. And the Sigrid, you stepped away, right?
I did.
Okay. And you're not trying to flee, you're just trying to like make some separation. Okay. Caius.
Yeah, I mean he's not a combat veteran, so he just shoots at whichever dog is closer.
Okay, Dogmore's the closest, so go ahead.
Ah,
He's got tons of dogs. Go ahead. That'll be a success, and you take it out. Like you just its head right next to Dogmore. Dogmore, you're looking right as you're looking down, just a few steps away.
this
and
poor dog, he's been
mistreated, terribly beaten and brutalized. And you guys have gotten a pretty accurate sense of this guy named Sten. You can see that a bullet just catches it right in the throat, and it goes down. And you can see Caius is just there with his hand shaking, gun pointing. And we move.
And I will bravely run away.
And you'll bravely run away. Yürgan.
I don't know there's much you can do to save a dog like this.
I'm really sorry, Dogmore.
So I'm on the ground.
Can't
Can't move.
lame.
All right.
Can you crawl?
You need your actions.
Yeah,
You still got actions and such. So
Can you
I'm
check
gonna
yourself
cry
out?
out for help
okay.
and start furiously crawling away.
All right.
That's about it.
Okay. I think that makes sense. It just says you can't walk. Doesn't say you can't crawl. So that works for me.
Yeah.
And then Anders, it's your turn.
So there's still one dog on us, right?
There's still one dog that you can see. Yeah.
And it's attacking Sigrid, but the fire's approaching and Yürgan's in the ground.
Yeah. I will say that the fire is going to spread incredibly quickly.
Yeah, Yürgan's the priority for me then. So
Okay.
I'll just go grab Yürgan and
Pick
put
him
all
up.
my effort into
Okay.
getting the two of us out of here.
All right. So you pick him up and you start kind of dragging him as best you can. You kind of probably put your arm, his shoulder over your neck type of thing, and just that kind of, okay, that sounds good. Gunnar, we come around to you. I'm going to say at the end of the turn, the fire has spread, has probably doubled in size just in a single turn. It's kind of covering, we'll say like probably a radius of about 15 yards or so. It is closest probably to Dogmore and Sigrid. but it's not yet flickering on you all, but it's spreading incredibly fast. What would you like to do,
I
Gunnar?
just hope Stin is in it.
I'm carrying someone, so there's not a lot I can do unless we just dump him to die.
Yeah.
Only one of us is down. Everyone else seems okay. I'm going to trust that you guys can take care of yourselves. I'm going to try to get him out of here, so I'm going to run.
Okay.
Try to get out of the quickly lit up grass.
Okay. No problem. I don't see any reason like that you couldn't. No problem. Okay, we got one dog left. I think we'll charge after Sigrid.
Please don't kill me.
And we'll attempt to bite once more. Will miss. Then I'm going to 50-50. We're going to say 1 to 3 Anders, 4 to 6 Yürgan. It's going to be Anders. You hear a shot ring out. You look back and you can see on the other side of the flickering fire and the smoke that's beginning to rise, you suddenly see a man step out and up from the yellow grass. He's going to look down this long-barreled rifle, and he's going to point it directly at Anders and Yürgan, and he is going to fire a shot with his rifle. It'll be 1 success. So 2 damage on Anders. And then you can see that he is kind of going through a loading process, and that's the end of his turn. Dogmore. And he's 2 zones away from you all. He's at a distance from Dogmore. What would you like to do?
Part of me feels like I just got to go after him. I'll probably die, but that's okay.
Run.
So I think I'll do that.
You're going to run or you're going to go after him?
Gonna go after him.
Okay. So do you
Through
want to...
the fire to him?
If you burn 2 actions, you can get to him on this turn. You can get into his zone on this turn. If you burn both your fast and your slow, you can actually get right up to him.
I know, but then I can't do anything.
Okay. Do you want to just move 1 zone?
And I can move freely without using my action with fleet-footed.
Yeah.
Within the zone, so I can move within the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And still keep my quick action at least.
Okay. I mean, you can move up 1 zone and you can hang on to your fast action. That's fine.
Okay.
So
then I can still.
You can also try to take cover. You can move up a zone and try to take cover.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think that'd be good.
Okay.
And then I can still have my fast action to react.
All right. We'll say you move up a zone and then you take cover behind what looks like the remnants of an old scarecrow or something like that. That's just you just kind of duck behind it. So you'll have some armor. We'll give you 3 armor if he decides to shoot at you. Sigrid, you've got this dog right next to you.
I am using both of my actions to run.
Okay. I'll say you separated from the dog on the last turn, so I'll let it go. You don't have to do anything. Caius, what do you want to do? Handshaking. You're still 1.
But we can see him now.
You can see him, but he outranges your gun. Because your gun is, I believe you have a revolver, correct?
It's just a pistol,
right?
But again, he would just shoot. It doesn't. I'm not saying it's the logical thing, but like you see the figure, you take a shot. It's ineffective. I'm sure.
There's also still a dog too, by the way.
Yeah, there's a dog that's chasing me.
You could shoot. Yeah, there's a dog chasing Sigrid that is within your pistol range if you wanted to shoot there.
Sigrid would be most appreciative to not have a dog chasing her anymore.
Yeah. So there's. I'll try not to be completely useless. I can help. I can do it. I can do it.
And yeah,
you
kill your second dog of the night. You kill your second abused, maltreated dog of the night, putting it out of its miserable existence. It's sad.
I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, doggies.
Yürgan, I would imagine you're continuing to just kind of cling to Anders at this point.
Yeah.
You felt the force of the bullet.
Giving pressure to the bullet wound on him.
Okay. Sounds good. And then Anders, are you still moving? All right.
Yeah, still going.
So Anders and Jürgen, you're the furthest ahead, I think, at this point. And I think Gunnar is like right with you. So I think that with both of you that are kind of carrying extra people are probably the furthest ahead. You've probably gotten within about 30 or 40 yards of the grove itself. Are you shouting or anything? Is there anything in particular? Or you can see that luscious green grove is in front of you.
I'm kind of
we can call out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've released your people.
All right.
We've got the one you wanted.
So I think Victor will go ahead and take a shot. Or not Victor, excuse me. Sten will take a shot at Dogmore, since Dogmore's starting to close in. Dogmore, you have 3 armor, so if he succeeds, you can roll 3.
And I still have my defensive action too.
Okay. So let me
I took the
roll.
defensive trait also. I'm loaded up with like combat BS.
Oh, jeez. All right, he misses though. Like you're hiding behind, and you can hear him like kind of curse out. So to speed this along, who is going to go try to help Dogmore, and who is going to run to the orchard?
Hopefully nobody.
Oh, I'm heading toward the orchard. I've got the
Orchard.
body.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jürgen and I, Orchard.
Can't let Dogmore die.
I've made my choice. I started a fire and I'm on the other side of it.
That is
It's a
true.
horrible
The fire, by the
decision.
way, has gotten even bigger and bigger. It's getting harder and harder to actually see Dogmore. You hear the sounds of the rifle blare out, but you can't. I mean, at this point, yeah, it's hard to see him. So, Caius, Sigrid, what are you two doing? Everyone else has kind of already figured out what it is they're doing.
I'll run back to Dogmore. Hopefully that he'll just please run away. Come
All right.
on, let's go.
Dogmore,
Sigurd doesn't have a gun or anything range, so I don't think Sigurd will go back.
okay, you'll leave your old friend. Dogmore, you're within
Mhm.
1 zone increment of him. What would you like to do?
I'll take my free movement to get up there
Okay.
if I can.
As you move up to him, you notice that he's got 2 other dogs that are right there and attended to him, right next to him, having not left.
Perfect.
So,
Wonderful.
So you
Well,
move
I'm
up,
just gonna try and
get your
kill
action.
him.
Yeah, go for
Yep.
it.
And I'm gonna go all in on this. I think I'm gonna use my torn body insight to stick 3 more dice in my close combat attack,
Bring it.
and I'll attack him with the saber.
He will defend, I think. No, actually, I'm gonna let it ride.
So let's see. I gotta do math here real quick. I get a 2 bonus.
Math's not allowed on any streams.
Yeah.
Math is the devil.
even geometry streams.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no.
Did that roll everything?
I mean, you've taken some conditions, I assume.
Should have been 3. Yeah, that did roll everything. So
You can push.
Push.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm all spent on physical
mean,
stuff.
Okay.
I can speak from experience. Jeff will allow you to injure yourself.
But once I'm broken, then I'm dead.
Well, you're not dead.
I mean, the only real way to die in this game is through critical injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's gonna come around to him. He will drop the rifle, and he will.
At least it takes the gun out of action.
Yeah. However, he's got an axe.
Yeah.
That he is just going to. So fast action, switching out weapons. Slow action, he will
An
swing,
axe and arms.
swing
And I
the
still
axe
have
at you.
defensive. So
Yeah, and he's got the 2 dogs as well. So first, I'll do his axe.
I didn't roll my dogs.
Okay, roll your dogs.
Shit.
Roll your dogs before it happens. It's fine.
I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Was that like plus
That's why I
4?
thought it seemed really low.
Plus 4?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll them.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
That's-
He
or
does
no,
actually.
could be 8. 2 dogs, 2 guard, 2 guard, 3 hunting, and 1 pet. If you let me have them all.
I don't think you have all of them though.
Hmm?
Do you have all you have like 6 dogs with you?
4.
4 dogs with you? Okay, they're not
Didn't-
they're not split amongst the group.
I thought one got hurt earlier in the mystery.
Okay.
We patched them up. I thought.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. It's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being atrocious tonight.
It's okay, dude. Roll it. It's what your guy does. All right.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, okay.
He does actually have a thing of armor, so I'm gonna roll my d6. But that damage does go through, and it does hit him.
Yay.
Then on his turn, he does swing that axe, which will
Okay.
do 2
I do have
damage. And so go ahead and roll your defense. Close combat.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. I assume the dogs do not count towards that.
I mean, it's. Yeah,
They-
what have
they-
we been doing? How have we been handling that? I don't remember.
I don't know that I've used them for defense.
Okay,
per se.
then let's just be
They're
consistent.
used for vigilance and close combat. Is their effect?
Go ahead and roll them. It's fine.
'Cause I need all the help I can get.
Okay, and so you do manage to block away his axe. Like the dog, your dogs begin to harass him, but then his 2 Dobermans will sick on you as well.
Yep.
Oh no.
And in which case I'm out of, I think,
Yeah.
actions. Well, no, I still have my reaction as well.
First one. Well, no, you had to use your fast action to close the distance to him to
I have
change.
fleet foot
That's only
No.
within your zone. That's not. You had to
within
move.
zone. Okay, sorry, he was in zone. Never mind.
So the first one's gonna go through 1 damage.
Yep, and I'm broken.
Okay, and then the second one will go through as well. And so roll. So we got to roll critical injury for you.
Yep.
Do you have access
This
to the
is
table?
great. Let's see.
If not, I can do it.
3 lines.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, go for it.
Let's
All
see
right.
how bad it is this time.
It's not so bad. Not so bad. So just a fracture. So one of them just starts to definitely just starts to dive into your elbow as you're kind of attacking. And then everyone else is running. Caius, you said you were heading back to help him, right?
I'm gonna try and help Dogmore.
Okay.
This is incredibly
Yürgan.
stupid.
So you move. Your fire is all around you.
If possible, I do want to try and shout and see
Oh,
if
yeah.
I can't get the little folks to go and help
Yeah.
Dogmore.
Oh, they definitely
Yeah.
will. They definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caius,
Agreed.
go ahead and do. Go ahead and roll. So you can move in within one range, one zone. And so if you want to take a shot, you can. I'm going to increase the difficulty just because there's Dogmore and 1,000 dogs that are apparently surrounding this guy. so
like,
I'm going to give
I'm
him cover
scram-
is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm scrambling to think of anything I can use to help myself. When do we get to use mementos? I apologize. I always forget that.
Mementos are basically for healing a condition. So it doesn't.
Okay,
wouldn't-
so it
wouldn't
can't-
impact here. Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, Dogmore. I'm not very good at this, but I am gonna try. Here we go. And I'm not terrible, I
That
guess.
will go through. Let me go ahead and roll. I'm going to roll some armor for him. So we'll say 3 and 1, so 4 total. All of it goes through, and Dogmore, as you're standing next to him, you just see right in his face, just right through one cheek and kind of back into the other, and his head just a little bit of it comes out the back. And
Why?
he just collapses down in front of you. Okay. Gunnar, Anders,
You're a slayer,
Yürgan,
Jeremy.
you see as this group of Vatir just come like loping down from the trees, and you can see all like a couple dozen of them are starting to run through the stuff like the high grass towards you, and you can see they're carrying what looks like knives in one hand and like these fire bombs in the other. You can see this swirling liquid, and they just run past you. They're kind of going off in the direction of the fire, and you all are safe and fine. You can see that there is that guy who is on the frog kind of comes up to you at this point, and he kind of sees that you have the body of the queen. He sees that you have the body of Victor. We'll resolve that once we finish what's going to go on with these dogs. So Dogmore, there's still 2 dogs on you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I can't do anything, can I?
No. Oh yeah, you're broken, aren't you? Okay.
Can I move or
You can crawl.
I can
So
crawl?
I'll say you can crawl, but you're not going to be able to get away from them. They're still good. So you can crawl closer to Caius. So the sound of the gunshot will say the Dobermans will still be able to get attacks off on you. So if they hit, basically critical injury is effectively what it is. Miss on the first, miss on the second, and your dogs are just harassing them. Caius, do you want to kill more dogs?
I tried to die.
I'm trying to kill him really badly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not strong enough to pick you up and carry you away. I think the only thing at this point I can do is just continue crying as I shoot dogs.
Shoot dog more. Shoot dog more. Shoot him.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's fact. If you kill Dogmore, all the other dogs will vanish.
They will all follow you now because you will be their leader. You'll
Why
be the
am I so good at this?
You kill one more dog, and then I'm gonna let one go off. I'm gonna get one more attack, and then we'll call it on that and say that between the two of you, you'll kill the last one. Oh, jeez!
No.
That's still it's still only one critical injury though. So just okay.
Oh god.
Oh, that's the second time I've had this one.
Oh no!
It's fatal in 2 minutes.
Okay. At that point, you guys hear like Ewoks coming from through the fire. Ah! And you see like fire bombs just kind of throwing all over the place, like randomly, like little bursts of fire in different places. You can see like the Vatir just like lunge out at this dog and just start hacking away at it. They start to go after your dogs as well, Dogmore.
No.
But I think you and Caius,
those are good ones.
They're like, okay. You see them go up to the man laying on the ground and just start continuing to stab him a little bit just to make sure.
He probably deserves that, but that's creepy.
Okay. So
see if I can find one that looks jittery and with a little pack of cocaine.
It's the same one. It's like, yeah. All right, we got to resolve fatal in 2 minutes.
Jürgan.
I don't think Jürgen's getting here. Caius, I think you have to make the roll.
Oh, come on.
I think you've got to make the roll, and if you fail, Dan in fact dies in the end.
Oh no!
I think this is how it's going to work.
The little fella that's hooked on cocaine, I will hold it and say, can you stitch people up? Do you want this?
Okay. We'll say he'll like burst and run, and I'll give you like a +1 on your roll from him coming to help. How about that? So I'll give you a +1, Caius, but you have to make this roll, or you're the only one there. Everyone else ran, so it's got to be you. But some of the other Vatir will help.
Get a +1, which means I'm only at a -1. Okay.
It's got to be.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Please don't die. Please.
I'm trying to kill him so hard to kill him. Okay. You managed to save him. Sadly, I think Dan and I both want Dogmore to die. Like, we wanted that to happen at that point.
I'm telling you,
like shoving pieces back in.
We're trying.
It's the twitchy fairy. He's like shoving all the organs back in.
Oh, jeez. All right. So let's fast forward, and the Vatir are going to spend some time putting the fires out. We'll do a little montage to close this down. You check the barn, and you find Asta is in a cage there, alive, with a big old wound on the back of her head. And she's like in this dog cage. There's all sorts of dogs, and there's tons of traps set up. But I'm not gonna. It's silly to start like tons of traps. Had you assaulted the barn, you would have been stepping on traps left and right, hunting traps, bear traps. You have a decision to make, and the decision is: do you give Victor over to them, or do you not?
Yeah.
Yep. Give him over.
Yeah.
Can we at least attempt begging? Like he's a troubled man, and what he's done is wrong. But
he'll be awake at this point and look at Jürgen, and he'll say something to the effect of like, all that I have learned is going to go to waste. This is going to be you too someday. This is just, if you give them over to me now, I won't be able to tell you what I've discovered. And what I have discovered is is significant.
Well,
I
I'm
take
sure
back my
I'll get
previous
there
statement.
too, but I don't want to get there the same way.
And then he'll reach out and he'll kind of grab onto you, and
If
you'll
any,
as
if
best he
there's
can
any
being out.
justice for what you did, it's that it'll be for nothing when you die and don't get to share it.
But I've already sent some of my findings off. If I die, if Sten and I don't contact them, they'll come looking. They'll ask questions. They'll find you. And you wouldn't want them to find you.
Well, I guess we'll deal with that when it comes. But
And he just spits.
you dug yourself a little too deep this time, friend.
Coward, traitor. And he spits in your face, and you can see that all the little Vatir come up and just start dragging him back into the grove while he's just screaming all sorts of curses in Yürgan's direction. Okay. And we'll say at this point, the fires have died down. Most of the manor has been just burnt to the ground. Huge chunks of the land itself have been scorched. The body of Stenhauser got caught up in that fire. Dogmar is on the verge of death once more.
Business as usual.
But your work here is done, as you have solved and resolved the issue. The small Vatir on the frog will agree that no assault on the town will take place, and will work with the Grove Tenders once more to perhaps reinvigorate the land and return it back to what it once was. They are considering taking up residence within the burnt remains of the manor, or at least underneath it, is sort of what they're thinking. So, yeah, I think that'll be about it for this mystery. We'll cycle back to town eventually. Let's do our quick recovery rolls before we do our XP, and then we can bail. How many of you took critical injuries? Just you took 2. All right, Dogmore, you've got to roll your recovery. So let me get up the rules for that again.
Barely skated by.
I can't believe you're still alive. It's hard to kill people.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So remember, you get 1. I think you get 1 + 1. Your goal is they're both physical.
Yep.
Okay. So you're going to roll separately. I'm sorry. No, you roll together, and a number of dice. You can the number of successes. You can either cancel a defect or make an insight permanent. So add your physique and your precision together and roll that many dice.
Does he get a bonus for the tavern?
And he does get a bonus for the tavern.
Okay, so 6d6, I think. No luck this time.
Okay, so both of those. So the defect will become permanent, and the insight will go away.
Yep.
All right. Then let's do our XP questions to close the night down. We're almost done. Thanks for hanging out. So let's do player experience, and then we'll do castle. So player, participate in the sessions, or just keep track of your own. 1, confront any Vaesen. No, you didn't actually really confront any Vaesen, so actually nothing from there. You already identified the Vatir. Affected by dark secret. I'm gonna say Yürgan. By deciding to give him over, I'm gonna say, like, I think that makes sense there. Take risks to protect other people.
I don't get anything.
Caius, of all freaking people. I think
Maybe
Anders.
Dogmore too.
Does Dogmore get one for his dark secret for going back to kill Sten?
Why were you going back to kill him? Were you going back to kill him because he had abused these animals, or are you going back?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, for sure. Yürgan for no, not Yürgan. Anders for picking up Yürgan, carrying him for sure. I'll say Gunnar, same deal for carrying Victor, even though you were just delivering him to a different kind of death.
Well, that had yet to be determined.
That's fair. That's fair. But I still think you should take it. Have you learned anything
We learned that there's some other thing that Victor's working for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's another
Some
enemy
other-
out there, or another group.
And you have that little.
Yeah, that's not friendly with Vaesen.
I'll say
That
that.
thing.
I'll say that you also saw that, and maybe I'll even let you grab this. That he had a signet ring on that you didn't recognize that had the same kind of etching,
Right?
in it.
Oh,
And so,
okay.
so that's a clue for the future. So yeah, and then to go ahead and take a point for
That
developing
swirl
something in your
thing.
headquarters, because we'll just do it off air.
Mhm.
Extraordinary action. Do we think anyone deserves something for this?
Dogmore, like he ran through flames to go after
Yeah.
that guy.
I agree. All right, Dogmore. Dogmore's going to become even more unkillable. I think old age is just going to kill him. Can you just roll for old age? 89 years old. And then castle development questions. Did you play at least? So this is for the whole mystery. Did you play at least one scene at the headquarters? Yes, that's 1. New type of Vaesen. Yes, that's 2. Visit a place of magic. The Grove will count for that. That's 3. Subjected to magic. Yes, Yürgan was actually at the end there. And so was actually Yürgan was both times, because he also got the disease spell as well. Did you bring occult books or other important items back to the
Caius
headquarters?
was still affected by the spell. He just didn't. Well, he got hit by a spell.
It's
but he
basically
wasn't-
like a save, and he saved against it.
Well, did we
Does
get
he
his
still get the
diary
point?
or his log? Did anyone grab that?
I'll say, yeah, I think Sigrid grabbed something. She grabbed the diary of the
grabbed the
mother,
mom's.
but you did get the signet ring, so I'll count the signet ring in the icon for that. So we'll count for that. Did you find this particularly difficult and epic?
It was pretty great.
All right.
That running
We
away
started
through
a
flame.
war.
Okay.
Sorta.
Yeah, getting out of a burning building.
Solving the mystery,
Mhm.
yes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think you have 7 total points. The only thing was, wait, what was the one you said no to? I know all. You said yes to all. Did you make important contacts? I think
No.
you made contact with the Vatir, and you were very peaceful towards him. The Vatir of
Mhm.
Hoxton. I'll give it to you. So take all 8. So we'll say you have 8.
Okay.
Okay.
We had 1 from last time, so we've got 9 development points.
And you
altogether.
get
Oh my.
bonus XP. Don't forget, you all developed the annals of the society, I think. So you get your own personal XP. You get like a +1 for that.
Oh yeah. All right.
Oh.
All right. Let's go ahead and close it down. So final plugs. Let's see. Bert, what's going on tomorrow night?
Oh, we were playing some first edition Dungeons and Dragons on the Notorious DMG channel. Check
Yep.
it out.
Yep.
Try my best to kill everyone named Dan.
Yes, please.
As you should.
Chuck, Defenders, what are they doing this week?
Oh my gosh. We got of course I'll be over tomorrow night on Notorious playing some first ed. Wednesday we'll be kicking off Cyberpunk Red. We're doing the jumpstart kick. Friday we'll be on Zweihander RPG, playing through Sin Eater, the Flames of Freedom starter adventure.
It's a fun adventure.
Yeah.
And then Saturday we'll be over on Goodman Games Official, continuing our Phylactery Hex Crawl.
Cool.
So yeah.
Jeremy, where can they find your podcast?
All fun places where you find podcasts. You can look up the Plewdcast, PLEWD. We just uploaded our next wave discussion. Should be fun.
Awesome. And then for Melissa and I, Adventures in Lollygagging, we'll be on. I'll be there tomorrow night with Chuck and Bert. On Thursday, we're going to be on Zweihander RPG, playing our game over there. Friday, we're going to be playing on twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We're going to be playing Mutant Year Zero because we have a Gen Lab Alpha game that we're going on. And then next Monday on the same channel, we'll be playing Alien. So come check all that out. So thanks for everybody who hung out. Thanks for any of you who are watching this later on VOD or on YouTube. Definitely appreciate it. We will be back in 2 weeks on the 26th, I think that is, with a brand new adventure or mystery, maybe a little Halloween themed. But that is all. So good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.